and welcome to episode 3 of Roleplay Tabletop, where every month our group of friends will get together and play through a brand new fantasy one-shot adventure in D&D, set in our very own fantasy world of Dor Wei. Last month's episode was called The Dragon's Missing Toothpick, where we got to meet the universe's very first cosmic dragon. We got to figure out exactly how he came to be. We learned the tragic story behind why his toothpick ran away from him, and we got to see a wish that was held hostage for centuries in the making finally come to fruition. This month's episode is called The Sky of Moving Towers. This episode, even though the last one delved a little bit into the kind of grander scheme of things of the world of Dor Wei, this one is significantly more important than that, as this one takes place deep within the past, thousands and thousands of years in the past, during a time where it's believed to be what's referred to as the Missing Millenia. The Missing Millenia is something that, like, the kind of crazy tinfoil people kind of draw all these strings matching these things up when they're kind of trying to figure out this era of history that is thought to just be myth in the timeline of Dor Wei. They believe that they can trace many magical artifacts and many historical events that are, like, very, very ancient and very just only slivers of them kind of exist still. They can tie them all to this one particular area in history where these two timelines kind of meet together, and it's almost as if a section of it was cut out and then two timelines were kind of put together. And it's referred to as the Missing Millenia, and it's mostly referred to as a myth. And this episode may take place during that, or in the beginning of that, or shortly after that. But anyway, it's called The Sky Moving Towers. Again, this takes place deep into the past, and we'll get started. So, first we'll go around the table really quick, introduce ourselves. My name is Eric Wide, and I'm the Dungeon Master. And who the hell are you people?
I'm Taylor. I am playing Jenny, who is a High Elf Ranger.
All right.
And I'm Aaliyah, and I'm playing Rose, who is a Mark of Storm half-elf cleric.
Okay.
I'm Dean, and I'm playing a tiefling wizard named Yaron.
I'm Shane, and I'm playing a tabaxi monk named Mother Skull.
Mother Skull?
Mother's skull.
Mother's
Mother's
Skull.
He wears
okay.
his mother's skull on his face.
Oh. Okay. All right. Like motherfucker Jones. All right. So to begin, so deep into the past, during an age undocumented by our present day, a regular woman named Ashley is killed. Strangely enough, though, no one greeted her on the other side, other than one individual, a rather unimpressive, unremarkable-looking gnome by the name of Idris. Idris gave her a second chance at life. As he was, even though he was a tiny little rat-like god, he was still a god, and he had the power to do this. Resurrecting her, she agreed that she would worship him, and that she would rally as many followers as she could to give him worship and to hopefully grow his influence and give him power. In doing so, she asked, "How?" And he merely responded, "Come to me. I'm here, in the sky." When she awoke, his words had echoed in her mind, and she woke with this hammer in her hands, which was entitled, engraved into the side, Shorebonder. Whatever is built with it is proved to be as solid as though it were an extension of the earth itself. As a result, she and a bunch of her followers, who were kind of her initial followers, very easy to kind of get to fall in line with her, as they had witnessed her resurrection and knew that there was something immaculate about her. And her and her followers all got together and they chopped down as many trees as they could, and using the Shorebonder, they were able to magically infuse all this wood together to start to build this foundation of this tower to reach the sky. As they were doing so, the forest eventually began to deplete itself as they started to kind of build a civilization around themselves, and they eventually switched to the heavier and slower method of using stone to continue this tower up to the sky. Over the years and over the decades, an entire civilization had formed around this tower that went all the way up into the clouds. Decades and decades, these people were building this tower to reach into the sky. Eventually, using the magic of the Shorebonder, along with just faith and hard work, the tower was high enough. At the peak of the tower, along with several of her worshippers that happened to be on duty with her that day, as they placed the final stone upon the top and hit it with a hammer, melding it together, she saw the clouds kind of part and kind of form into this kind of wisp of a hand that eventually kind of reached down and turned into a almost human-sized hand. Ashley, being at the top of the tower, had reached up and grasped it as she noticed that this hand, she felt that bond to it, that same presence that she felt when she was dead and she had spoken to Idris before, that little gnome. The hand grabbed onto her and the clouds kind of parted to where she was able to see looking down at her, though the eyes kind of portrayed that it was the same individual, what was beyond them at least. The individual looked significantly different than the Idris that she had known those decades before. When she had known him previously, he only had a single devotee and almost no power to his name. Now he was taller than a human. His skin had kind of turned green. He was long of limb, and his face was almost morphed, kind of almost looking more like an arachnid than humanoid flesh. And reflected back from those cold eyes, she kind of saw her reflection of this pathetic human being looking up at him, and he's grasping onto her hand, looking down at her. And all he says to her is, "This is going to hurt, for we are quite high." And then he thrust her, and along with her, toppled the tower. All of her followers that were up there with her all fall these essentially miles from the sky down. And as she crashed onto the continent that is now known as Idris Falls, it's believed that where her body had landed, it created what is now known as the Great Crack, which is this giant, like, infamous chasm that kind of goes into the center of the continent of Idris Falls. The tower itself had obliterated a great deal of the land. Most of her civilization had been kind of crushed by this tower, as most of the civilization kind of uprooted as it had fallen, as it kind of almost was like a grand tree that was planted into the earth. Ultimately, though, even though her body got obliterated, her few remaining followers and citizens that were with her traveled to where the Great Chasm was, delved down into the Great Crack, and they had found the shore bonder, that hammer. And imprinted upon it, they found her memories of what had happened. So then, with vengeance fueling their hearts, they went back to where the base of the tower was, and they began to rebuild. This time, however, instead of worshiping this god of Idris that they had before, they were instead worshiping her, for she gave them purpose. Over decades again, and over another full lifetime, they reconstructed a tower to again reach up into the god sky. They again reached that same exact pinnacle, and upon doing so, the group of followers of hers who were chosen through their strength, their magical might, their wit, and their cunning, reached the pinnacle of the tower as the clouds began to part, and again a hand formed from the clouds and reached down toward them. This time, however, the followers that were atop this tower realized that it was not Idris's hand, that it was the goddess that they worshipped, which was her. As they reached up and they grabbed this hand all simultaneously, they were all pulled up through the plane of existence where they were in the mortal realm and pulled up into what is referred to as the god sky. You were all of those followers who were at the top of the tower and had, from the generation ago, your parents had done the same thing and their parents had done the same thing, and you were able to be at the pinnacle of the tower when it reached its height. Upon being pulled up into the god sky, you find yourselves upon the equivalent of like a raft upon a sea. If that raft were made out of solidified clouds, and if that sea were an open sky of just blue and white. You can see in the distance that there are several large cloud-like islands that are literally like the size of a full island way out in the distance, and from the center, the core of them is a tower, and you can see them slowly moving. And there's several of them. Each one kind of embodies like the characteristics of a different god. From them, you can see other smaller islands, almost like moving pieces on a chessboard that are all kind of more rapidly moving about. Every once in a while, will kind of boom and echo from the distance as they're all kind of colliding with each other. And then even further from those central towers still, as they're all kind of spread out in this expanse, you can see that there are vast areas of just open expanse where just little bits of debris, almost like in outer space, how just meteor debris would be kind of everywhere. There's this open expanse of where they are. Every once in a while, an individual tower will kind of travel across as it's going to collide with another one. But for the most part, it's just kind of like this open expanse that's there as well. Comparatively, the little raft of a cloud that you guys are on and standing beside you is this goddess that you guys worship. It is almost comically small, how small it is. The goddess who owns it is standing on the far edge of it, where you guys are kind of standing in the middle. The raft is maybe just a little bit bigger than an 8x8 section. You were all pretty crammed on it. And looking over to you is the goddess, her long blonde hair kind of flowing over her hand as she holds it off offeringly to you guys. I cannot believe the limitless potential of the mortal body and faith in the soul. My name is Ashley, and I have you to thank for making me. For I am nothing without you. Which is why I need you now more than anything. She turns and she kind of looks over the great expanse and all the towers that are all kind of colliding with each other. You can see that some of the debris from them, as it kind of breaks away from the towers, kind of fades almost like through a veil, and it kind of turns into almost like rain, snow, mist that it kind of looks like from above as it kind of rains magic down, feeding the magic of the world below. You're well aware of Idris the Ungrateful, I'm sure, as you've touched the Shorebonder. And the damage that his betrayal caused to the world below us was but a punch in the arm compared to what'll happen if he keeps meddling away the way he does up here. The rest of the gods won't attack his tower. They fear the war that'll happen just to get there. But I think the lot of us, I think we can fix this. You know why you're here? You look like you're trying to yawn.
You don't want to do it.
It was bugging me out. Oh man.
To serve your purpose, Ashley.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Purpose. Anyway, no one will help me. I think I have to go alone, which is why I need you. You see, Idris, after a few decades of worship from civilization of followers that I got together for him, he's ancient. He knew how to draw upon their energy, and he built this vast tower for himself. And you see, the gods up here, they're always just roughhousing. It's all they're meant to be doing up here, playing their game of moving towers. But he's out for blood. He's thrown it wicked off balance. And it could mean catastrophe for the world below, as they mirror each other. You see, I'm too weak to do what needs to be done. None of the other gods will go for it, because they don't want to start a war that will destroy the world below. But I think that, maybe, since my tower is so small, it might be a good thing. Maybe the lot of us, you, me, and Floki, we can navigate through all this mess, go directly to his tower, and we can knock him down.
Who's Floki?
Immediately upon saying that, kind of bursting from the cloud that's below, kind of the cloud itself, of the island itself, kind of forms into kind of this, he looks more or less kind of like a human. He has almost the equivalent of like what you would think like a French guy would look. He kind of has this like kind of like flattened hat that's kind of off to the side. He kind of has that whiskey mustache, kind of curly black beard that's kind of like well oiled and kind of tight to his face. And he just kind of whips up, "Ha-ha! That is me, my friends! Pleasure that you are asking me of my presence. Here I am now. To Grandor! This I tell you, it awaits us. Now, what is your first plan of attack, my friends? I say we go straight for the throat. He will not be expecting us, this I tell you." Sorry, he's a bit much. He was the first one I ever made from the cloud stuff that is up here, and he was a little bit rough around the edges, but I found that I liked him quite a bit. But I can't really manifest much more of a tower myself. I put most of my resources into making Floki here, and whatever worship I do get from below, I often lose before I'm able to really build it in anything else. I'm mostly maintaining this little bit that I have. But I have sent Floki on many, many assaults with all the other gods in their conflicts, so he's very well learned of the Gold Sky and the moving towers, much more even so than myself. I've mostly just been here on my raft, looking down at a lot of you. But Floki here, he's been almost everywhere. That is where I have been. Have you ever been to a tower? No tower at all. Didn't even let me finish. Oh, adventure awaits us, my friends. Oh, so much gold blood wouldn't be spilled on this day. This I tell you. So, what do you say, my friends? Now, surely, death awaits us. However, there's a possibility that it does not. Does this excite you? I hope so. If it did not, then surely we are going to fucking die. And that is not on my agenda for today, this I tell you. So, what is the plan? Surely when you were constructing the towers over the generations, you had been endlessly thinking of how you were going to redeem your goddess. Now, unload your information upon me so that we may wield it as a sword and run it off the ass of Idris, the ungrateful.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking that we could just go get him.
Go for the
I
throat.
like that plan.
Maybe we could like sneak in the back or something. You know, maybe there's a secret entrance. You know, I've never seen it up here, so I wasn't really sure what to think.
As you guys are kind of mumbling this a little bit on this little raft, pretty much in this great expanse of godly towers, you can just kind of hear again in the background these massive islands that are just. And a lot of you are just kind of standing here looking at this cloudy French guy that's just kind of holding his fist up, saying that he's going to take on the world. And then the goddess of Ashley is just kind of looking at you guys. So this is what I've been working with.
It's interesting. For sure.
I'm not exactly saying that we have much of a chance here, but the rest of the gods won't help us, and the world's probably going to get destroyed if we don't do something about Idris and all the havoc that he's causing up here. Plus, I know that Lowstar had been getting quite fat off the vengeance that you yourselves have been building up quite a bit. Lowstar is the god of vengeance and karma.
Okay.
So from that, you guys are able to kind of deduce that any emotion or worship that happens from the world below kind of bleeds up, filters into here, and then the gods kind of feed upon it that they can then build their towers, and then they kind of all just attack each other. The towers collide. They kind of break apart, and what bits of it kind of fall down, rain down upon the world below, kind of feeding it, watering it with magic, so to speak. And then the people draw upon that to, again, get their emotion and beliefs, and then it's kind of this, almost like the cycle of rain, except it's with magic and belief and worship into the gods. And this is kind of like their playground up here. Okay, so we have no plan. This is a plan.
It is.
I like it.
The best
It
plan.
is beautiful. This is what legends are made of. All right. So, nothing left to do but to set sail. So first, I say we go out into the expanse. We go as far as we can. We do not want to collide with any of the towers, otherwise we will go splat, and we will be dead before we can even strike one blow to the ungrateful god of Idris. So, may we navigate. May we miss all of the debris that is out there and hope that no other towers get in our way. What we will have to do is try to find one of Idris's towers and board onto it, and then take control of it. For this raft will not do. This I tell you. So, plan?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
All right, let's go off. So, in doing so, Ashley kind of manifests from the clouds, kind of forming up from beneath you, kind of this like ship's wheel. And as she starts to kind of turn it, setting a course into kind of the expanse of where it's just kind of no man's land, pretty much, where just a little bit of the floating debris is still in the distance, keeping very clear of any of the large towers, and then some of their smaller towers that are all kind of moving off and kind of colliding with each other in the distance. You guys are navigating for just a little bit as you were kind of, you feel as though you were all of a sudden, just 10 minutes before you were back on the earth, building, again, this tower up to the sky in the heavens, which in itself was a crazy, fantastical feat. But now you guys are essentially like on the spaceship raft, kind of traveling through the sky of all these clouds that you have no idea what to expect. As you guys are kind of slowly drifting throughout, and she's kind of navigating, trying to kind of bypass some of the larger towers that are kind of drifting your way, even some debris that kind of gets sent off, that's kind of hurling by, that kind of just kind of like passing by you guys, even missing by just like 100 feet. You can kind of feel the momentum of it all just kind of blowing past you. And with each one that does kind of blow past, you kind of get the emotion a little bit of whatever god it may have been affiliated with. You kind of like sense this rage that is kind of drifting by, and it must have been from the one god tower of Maltorak, which is kind of the god of the orcs and rage and gluttony and just ever feeding on just berserk and brutality and gluttony. Like another one may drift by and you kind of feel this calmness and peace, and it was the god or the goddess of peace. But as you guys are navigating through some of the debris fields, before we like encounter anything, this does take a little bit of time, so if you guys wanted to, you could talk about anything to either the goddess that is steering or to Floki, her first mate, who's kind of talking to you guys, leading the way, or you guys could talk to each other about anything that might have happened on the Earth or what you're really expecting here. Otherwise, you guys are just sailing away. Anything you guys want to ask or say or do while you guys are kind of drifting away on the raft, kind of heading toward the direction of where Idris's kind of main tower is, but kind of drifting through the expanse, kind of dodging some of the debris.
Yeah, I would like to ask Ashley, after she died, how did she end up here?
Well, almost immediately after my body was obliterated, I went to the afterlife. And, starts kind of turning the wheel, and this kind of huge piece of debris kind of whisks by. But, it was almost like, and this was over the course of, up here time is a little bit different, you see, but it was almost like when you're waking up, when you're sick, and you're kind of half asleep and half awake, and then slowly you're getting more and more lucid. Well, you just turn the wheel just a little bit more and bypass another one. I started to wake up, and I realised I wasn't laying in my bed. I wasn't laying in this big hole in the ground. I was here on this little raft. And slowly I could hear, I could feel all of you. Of course, it wasn't you back then, it was your ancestors, but I was feeding off of you. I was like a child in the womb. And eventually I could stand, I could talk, I could do things, and eventually I started to grow. I grew self-aware, and here I am. I started to learn. I almost got crushed a few times. There was one time where my raft, is this actually one of the biggest I've ever had it. There was one time where it was literally just under my feet. Two wisps of little clouds smoke, just this big under my feet. It was horrible. The whole time up here has been bad, but I know I have a purpose. I feel like purpose is what I am.
Yeah, and I think that's why I worship you, Ashley, is because you gave me a purpose. Because, I'm a tiefling. Get cast out from society. They don't like tieflings, but, you kept me going on. So thank you.
That means the world. It truly does. And you can, just from that, you can kind of see the raft kind of expands like another foot or two
Nice.
of cloud space that kind of feeds into it.
I look at this little cat. Like, how'd you get here? Did you come in somebody's bag or something?
My mom worshipped Ashley, and then she died.
You whispering this to each other?
Is that
So
her skull?
how'd you know?
I just assumed.
So yeah, I took her skull, and I started wearing it
Is that like a
because
normal?
it made me feel
vaccine?
closer to Ashley, and
Oh.
being close to Ashley made me feel close to my mom.
Okay, yeah. It's interesting and it's not creepy at all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, a little weird. Okay, so just as your conversation is kind of finishing up, Floki kind of just bursts in between the two of you. He kind of awkwardly kind of puts his hands onto you. His fingers kind of go inside the eyes of the skull that are kind of on top of your head. My friends, look about! Typical of him. You know what to do, Ashley. Prepare for impact. The lot of you grab onto something. Typical of Immaculus, always getting in the way. And as you guys look, you can see that this one tower is kind of clearly shifting into where you're directly into your path. And this tower, all these things are referred to as towers. They're essentially islands that kind of had this core to them. Usually it's literally a tower, but for the most part, the islands are referred to as moving towers. You can see that in front of you, this kind of large, mostly like spherical, kind of a, almost like imagine a micro planet kind of just moves in front of where you guys are, and this is his tower. Immaculus, you guys know from being in this world, is the god of change. He's one of the most kind of chaotic gods, but at the same time, he's also very like a few lawful people also worship him, just in kind of the kind of sense that it's almost change is something that is so constant, yet if it's constant, then it's constantly changing. Like kind of the only constant is change, how they kind of like don't make sense. If something's always changing, that's a constant. If something changes, then it's not constant. So like some people who are lawful, like and who aren't very chaotic, will worship him because he is always changing, and that is something that is constant. Then the people who are more chaotic will worship him for the other half of himself, which is more or less that he's always changing. And the god himself is also known for just kind of at times being very stern and neutral, and then also being very kind of chaotic, throwing a wrench in the gears just to kind of see what happens, kind of a thing. And you can kind of see the island just kind of intercepting, and Floki just kind of says, "Typical of Immaculus. Ooh, is that the rule in everybody's bands? Brace for impact!" And a lot of you kind of, as you're coming up to this island, as you're getting closer to it, the kind of like cloudy mist of how it kind of looks from afar, as you get closer, you're able to kind of make out some of the details. And you guys had traveled for maybe like a total of like 15, 20 minutes throughout the expanse. And you had navigated through quite a bit of debris. A few individual towers had kind of passed by where you guys were and kind of had collided with each other in the back. But where you guys are now, headed toward like Idris's kind of domain where most of his pieces are, this tower just kind of swept up in front of you guys and now is kind of on a collision course. The way that it looks as you're looking closer at it, it is kind of like a sphere that almost looks like it's a whole collection of all these different kind of, as you're looking closer at it, it almost looks like solidified cloud to where it's almost like granite or stone pathways that all just kind of wind all around and like inside of each other, to where it makes this kind of sphere almost like of yarn, and if each piece of a string was like a road that could like go all the way into the middle. As you guys are coming up to it, since it was something that was obvious that you had seen and it was aware, Ashley is kind of pulling back on the wheel, which is kind of, as you kind of look closely at it, you can notice that this is kind of the core of her island, and of her tower, and kind of like emanating from it, almost like fog from a machine that's kind of like perpetually kind of feeding mist into the cloud that's beneath you, is kind of like the core of the wheel that she's holding. She's kind of slowing it a little bit, and you guys are able to kind of stop right before you kind of like embrace it, and then she's able to just, as she kind of turns the wheel all the way, and as you guys kind of turn to the side, and then you just slowly kind of butt up against it, not so much that you guys had just crashed. If you guys were a larger island, you might have collided onto it, and that alone might have been enough damage to have either broken one of the two of you. The one bonus that she has with hers being so small is that she can kind of just boop, butt up against one, and then you guys can kind of connect onto it and try and board onto it. So where you guys kind of butt onto it, and the kind of like the mist from the two clouds of the islands kind of form together into one, so that her raft pretty much becomes like a balcony kind of extension onto the beginning of this kind of twisting roadway that goes up and around. Floki kind of just casually just kind of takes a step off and spreads his legs out and kind of stretches a little bit. "It has been a while since I was on an Immaculus Island. Who knows what awaits us? He is always changing. So,
Let's go.
let's go. All right. Follow me. I've done this once or twice, and I've only died once. So,
You fine?
onward. Yes.
And you just come back from the clouds.
Whoosh. Does that, and then he just pops up from the cloud island behind Ashley. You can see that Ashley, as he does this though, she kind of weakens just a little bit. Her island kind of restricts just a bit, as some of it had to be made up to reform him. My apologies, my god is put. I had to prove a point. So,
What happens if I just put his dead body over on the boat? Does it get bigger?
the one that he had died with, he just turned back in a cloud. So as he hops back onto the island with you guys, all right. So, working out the kinks. Sorry. Now, oh, wait, hold on. Okay. So, they often get mixed up. All right. So, onward. As you guys start kind of walking across the island, the way that the road looks, it almost looks like similar to Snake Way in Dragon Ball, but it like kind of like instead of being all around, it's kind of twisted all inside of itself. As you guys begin navigating some of the roadway, you travel for maybe like 10-15 minutes as you begin to delve kind of deeper inside of this sphere. You can feel it also kind of still moving, drifting throughout the cloud sky, hoping that no other cloud towers are going to bump into you guys and attack you and kill you, because if that happens, more than likely the tower is going to get destroyed. Where you guys currently are, after again you were walking for 10-15 minutes, the road that's in front of you, Floki kind of stops you, and you can see that the roads kind of just they just kind of like get very like rubbery almost, and then re-solidify. And then as that happens, Floki takes one step, and then it just kind of several different roads all kind of fork out in all these different directions, and they all look kind of like transparent to where you could almost like see through them. And you can kind of hear the voice of Immaculus saying within your mind, "One path leads not to your downfall. You already know the way." You can hear it in your mind. Always the brain teaser with this one. Why is it not whack them all as it sticks its head out of the ground? That would be so simple, yes. Instead, you have to think. Oh, Floki hates thinking. What do you think it means, my friends?
They're all doomed.
And he said one path leads not to, what did he say?
One path leads not to your downfall. You already know the way.
And
The way it came.
Oh! That is smart. We try. He turns around, pushes through you guys, and starts walking back the way that you guys came. As he's doing so, you kind of notice that the road is still kind of twisting inward, and the way that you came had changed. Floki, as he's doing so, and you guys aren't following him yet, as he's taking a few steps, he kind of turns. There is no way back, my friends. This I tell you. Any way that you walk is forward.
well, let's keep going.
You are a smart one. Haha. Floki is going to keep you. Let's go. And he begins almost like kind of jauntily power walking forward, very, very voraciously, kind of wiggling his hips.
Yeah, I guess it's I don't know.
You guys follow him?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So how it was, yeah. So you literally came up with the answer. Wasn't expecting it. But yeah, so all the ways were all just transparent, and the way back was the way that you guys already knew, and it was solid, and the way back changed, because he's got to change. And like Floki said, as long as you were walking, you're walking forward. So ultimately, as you guys are traveling a little bit more, you notice that the paths again divert, and this time, as they do so, they turn into a whole bunch of solidified paths that all kind of form all around you in all these different pathways, almost forming like a tunnel that you guys are walking through. Floki again stops you. This is very familiar to one that killed Floki.
Oh.
One moment. He takes a step, then he takes another step. And as he begins onto the central path, each step that he takes, the path behind him disappears. Emasculus is asking us to leave our past behind us. Floki can do this thing. For if Floki dies, he comes back. And he continues just kind of power walking forward, and he makes it to the end of where the tunnel just comes kind of back together. The path that he had walked on is now kind of disappeared, but several of the paths that make up this kind of winding tunnel continue around.
Should we go on the other path?
Well,
We can't go on the other one, right?
Not
Because
the
it
one he
disappeared
just went
behind
on.
him.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
Floki, what do you mean we have to leave something behind?
your past.
Our past.
This is a question you're asking yourself, my friend. Can you leave your past behind to do what needs to be done? Immaculus asks you this thing. The Floki that takes this step, and he takes a step, is not the same Floki that took this step before. This I tell you. Can you say the same?
I guess we could try. Can I try to take a step on one of the other paths?
All right. Yeah, so you take a step on the leftmost path, and the step behind you fades away.
I'll take another step.
All right.
Take another step.
Same thing.
Keep taking steps.
There are 100 more steps. Illustrate each one.
Keep taking steps.
As you get halfway across, you're kind of struck with this kind of pang of just realizing the question that it's really asking you. It's in this moment that you're certain that the world that you are going to return to, should your journey be successful, is going to be a different world than what you left. And just kind of getting racked with this idea for a moment, kind of, it makes you hesitate for just a moment. And in that moment, I'm going to ask you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Alrighty. Hey. 12.
All right. So in that, even though you are racked with this for just a moment, and you pause, you do accept that no matter what, the world is going to be different if you do return to it regardless.
It's not a problem for me.
You'd rather it be different in a better sense than the worst case scenario. So in accepting this, you relinquish your past and you move forward, and you make it to the very end.
Okay.
So in similar fashion, the other three of you, as you are making your way across, kind of some of you are walking upside down as some of the paths twist up and around. Each step is kind of the step behind you, the path is fading away in the cloud dust. As you guys all get halfway, everyone make a Constitution save. As you're trying to accept that you are leaving the world that you knew behind to do what needs to be done for a better world in the future.
Ooh.
17.
Okay.
Okay.
16.
All right.
Yeah.
5.
It's gonna be 5.
Okay. All right. So in doing so, you guys all make it across. The tabaxi, the cat, that you guys were all kind of unsure about, the skull mask that he's kind of wearing over his head. As he gets halfway across, you see him kind of trembling, kind of looking inside of the skull, kind of pulling it down, looking inside of it. As you can see, that kind of the reflection in his eyes that he's attached to his family, he's attached to that world. He doesn't want to leave any of it behind. He wants to save it, protect it, and come back home to it, even knowing that that isn't going to happen, and he can't wrap his mind around it, and in doing so, the path beneath his feet disappears, and as he falls, that path disappears, and you fall down maybe a couple dozen feet until another roadway that kind of snaked underneath of you, you fall and land onto, and
You can slow fall as a monk if you want.
you can do that, because you would take 9 points of bludgeoning
I'll
damage.
slow fall.
All right,
It's a
so
1 key point.
Okay.
yeah, deduct a key point. So as you do that, as it dissipates and you begin to fall, you kind of see the cat kind of in the cat way that they usually kind of freak out before falling on their feet. He just kind of stops, kind of like mid freak out, and he starts kind of slow falling, and then he kind of straightens himself out as he then falls. And in doing so, you land still onto a roadway that is several kind of layers beneath where you guys were. And as you're down there, kind of looking at, kind of between some of the roadways, you can kind of see where your friends are on the other side. There's now this twisting knot of roads, and all of them are kind of slowly kind of shifting and changing that you can now see from this perspective. You kind of have to decide which way to go, if it's either going to be left or right. And in this moment, I would ask you to make an insight check.
Bu- 15.
Okay. That was exactly the DC. So, in doing that, for a moment, you still kind of have that little bit of panic from when you had fallen previously. However, this time, as you're looking at your path, either to the left or to the right, it still just looks like a road that kind of twists, almost like you're looking at the beginning of a maze and you have no idea which way is going to be right or wrong. You do kind of get this understanding as, again, with your goddess, Ashley, still back on the raft, who has been following you guys kind of more or less like kind of being moral support kind of a thing. She can't really contribute so much as far as the gods themselves aren't supposed to leave their towers. Since hers is so small, she can go a little bit off of it. Since hers is attached to this one, there's a chance that she may be able to take it over. So as long as hers is attached, she's following you guys, although she's kind of keeping a bond to it. So just in case another tower does collide, she can pull back and kind of teleport back to it. Otherwise, she'll be kind of floating in the ether in a whole lot of pain, agony, and turmoil until enough worship is given up to give her another tower to float on. So she is following you guys. However, she's mostly tethered to her raft, and she's kind of just following. But in doing so, from this kind of faith and aura that you get from her, you are able to push away all that raw emotion. You're able to kind of accept this calm. In doing so, you realize that it doesn't matter which way you go, for you know that you're going onward. And you accepted the fact that the path that you are on does not change, no matter how much it may change. So in accepting that weird parable, you move onward, and it doesn't matter which way you go. And as you do this with this firm grasp, knowing that you're going the right way, eventually you walk right up, and you're right back to the path that you initially were on, and you're able to walk across another one of the beams, each step fading behind you, and you make it across to where everybody else is. You didn't have slow fall, you'd have been kind of fucked up.
I would have feather fallen away.
All right. So,
You whispered that in my ear.
as you guys are reunited and Floki gives you a big pat on the back, "Ha-ha, Catman, I knew you could do it! Oh, I was not worried for a second, although it was not very graceful how you fell. But it was graceful how ungraceful it was. I like you. Anyhow, onward! The core is close, I can feel it in my bones, if I had them.
Ooh,
So, let's go.
onward.
As you guys begin moving onward, you ultimately make it to an ornate-looking crossroads. You can see at the crossroads, the two roads, they don't go anywhere. They go just a few feet in one direction and another direction, and then it's just kind of cloudy mist. And it's kind of, you're at the center of the tower island. In the middle of the crossroads is a literal crossroads sign that is made out of like cloud stuff that's more or less almost like crystallized rain and almost like polished stone or granite or marble, is a mixture of all the material that's kind of used to make the sign. The one pointing to the left says easy, the one to the right says difficult, but worth it. Which road do you guys take?
Oh,
I'd say difficult but worth it.
Difficult, but worth it.
yeah.
I don't
Oh.
think it matters which one we take.
I don't know. I think. Is there a third option? That kind of sounds like.
What if we went the way we came?
I don't know if that's gonna, I don't know if that's
Just
gonna
keep
work.
going back the way you
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work
Nice.
again. Yeah, I guess we can go the difficult but worth it way. If you have to go with that.
Floki walks up and puts his hand on your chest. You mean this thing? From in here? This I tell you?
Of course.
Okay. I know you were the right ones. Let's do this thing.
Onward.
Ashley comes walking up behind you guys as you guys have chosen your path from in here. She walks up to the crossroads sign, and as you get close to it, you notice that similar to her captain's wheel that she had, it is kind of pulsing this kind of fog into the island, feeding it its form. She walks up to the crossroads sign, and she just pulls it up, and in doing so, all the roadways all kind of unravel and dissipate right back up into the crossroads sign, which then just turns into all this like kind of like cloud dust that all kind of slowly begins to just wisp and kind of form. And in doing so, what she's still holding in her hands, that was the crossroads sign, turns into a similar captain's wheel that she had, that she just plants into the ground and kind of seizes control of this tower. You can see some of her energy kind of returning as she now has control of a significantly bigger tower than she had before, and she wasn't even able to come close to doing this without actual help that you guys now were able to accomplish, because all she had was Floki. In doing so, you can start to see that a lot of the cloud mist from all the roadways that had kind of dissipated, and as it kind of rain, like comes down upon you almost like a snowstorm, and as it begins to pile up, you start almost like how snow piles form, you start to see them kind of dissipate, and beneath them you start to see these like stone, granite, almost like shadowy crystallized cloud-like forms, a mixture of all these materials that are kind of forming a more ancient looking version of the city that you guys had lived in, and almost like a tinier, like a few pieces of it, but you noticed like this one monument that was like in the center of town, and you can see that she's kind of fashioning this island off of the past life that she had and the home that she had, as well as the fact that this town and this civilization was her purpose. And it's almost like her, you kind of feel this bond that you now have with this god tower, that she is the goddess of purpose. And that this civilization, this island, is a manifestation of her view on the world of everything, but the city was her world. That's why she made it this. But this was her purpose. And so in doing so, you guys now have control of this tower. You can see that there are 2 additional god towers that are kind of beginning to kind of get within striking distance, you could say, of where you guys are. Now with the one that you guys currently have, as she begins to kind of turn the wheel, you guys can navigate quite a bit more quickly through this kind of expanse of the kind of like the wasteway of where all the debris is. As you guys are kind of navigating throughout the sky and moving, and the city is still kind of half building itself. Some other like little cloud wisps are kind of forming into smaller individual people. Some of them are like little like unique looking kind of gremlin things that you can't really place as actual like creatures in the world, but like are unique to this place. And they're all these kind of like little helpers that are going around, and with all these little tinker tools, they're all kind of constructing the rest of the civilization that are all kind of building about. You see other few individuals who are almost like humanoid, who are also beginning to kind of manifest. They don't have like full personality yet. They're kind of like sluggish in the way that their features are. They're kind of half formed, but it looks like she's beginning to build some kind of an actual god tower amongst this sky moving towers. Actually, in doing so, kind of looks to the lot of you and Floki just kind of says, "Okay, so where next, Capitan?" And Ashley, again, still kind of regards a lot of you guys. "I'm a goddess. You're my followers. So do what followers do best, and lead. What should we do?"
I mean, there's 2 other masses that we could visit. You know, maybe make your tower a little bigger.
Oh no, they would be a little scary. I think
mean,
best we avoid them.
Okay, that's fine too. If you want to go straight for the that Idris guy already.
That's what we want to do, yeah.
All right.
Straight for the throat.
I don't know how long we can survive out this far away from home. Especially out here in the expanse. A whole lot of debris could kill us, let alone an actual tower.
Are we all like grouped up right now?
Yeah, you guys are still where you roughly were in like the equivalent of the captain's quarters.
All right, I'm gonna start a ritual
All right.
for 11 minutes. Let me know when that finishes.
All right. Also in the process, as you guys are kind of having this conversation and everything, and some of the tinkerers that have been kind of building part of the area, Floki just kind of says, "Capitan, you deserve better quarters than this. Let me whip something up for you." And Ashley just kind of curiously kind of side eyes him. "What exactly do you have in mind?" "You want to see this, I tell you." He gathers up a whole lot of the individuals, like awkwardly they're all just kind of squeezing around as he's got a whole bunch of them in his arm, and he kind of whispers in all their ear and then drops them down, and then they all start to kind of skitter all around you and just kind of as they're kind of building this enormous tower that starts to kind of emerge, and you guys like being in it, almost as if you're inside of a telescope that's being slowly pulled up. You guys are just kind of elevated as this large tower kind of forms, and you guys kind of find yourselves that on this big tower island of this little like microcosm of the city that she had constructed, that she knew in the clouds. You guys are on this grand tower that's the equivalent of maybe being like 100 feet tall compared to everything else that's on the island, and you guys are on the top of a crenellated tower, where she has the ship's wheels kind of on this protrusion of a balcony that almost looks like the prow of a ship, where she is currently steering. You guys are atop this large tower, and you guys can get a better view of the expanse and all the god towers that are out there. And from it, there is like this big, huge, like kind of telescopic device that you can actually look through and kind of see some of the more distant god towers, and you can actually see through looking through it. Floki points out Idris's individual tower. A lot of the gods have the towers that they live in, which they don't leave those towers. And then they have a whole bunch of individual towers that they send out to play their chess game with. You guys are after Idris's actual tower where he physically lives, and Floki's able to point that out with the telescope. "That is where we want to go, my friends. Many towers are in the way. If we can skirt past these 2, there'll be 2 less towers that we have to collide with and contend with. I say we go full speed ahead. What say you?"
Sounds good to me.
"Okay. All in agreement. I like you. This I tell you. Okay. Everyone grab on. Hold on to your pants and shorts, as long as they've been created already." And a lot of you kind of grab onto some of the crenellations that are at the top of the tower. It actually kind of cranks in an overdrive. You can kind of feel the tower almost kind of rotating and spinning as it's going through. Almost like a planet that would be kind of orbiting. So like in a sense, you can kind of feel the gravitational force kind of anchoring you to where you don't feel like you're kind of whipping all around. But you guys are kind of on a slower sense. You are kind of spinning and kind of picking up speed as you're navigating through. As you do so, two of the larger towers. Two of them belonging to gods you can't really identify from the speed that you're traveling through them. They kind of just miss and pass by you guys. You can see them kind of colliding with some of the smaller towers. One of them just obliterates one that was bigger than your tower. So it was a good thing, like, you guys are kind of like, okay. All right, good thing we missed that one. But as you guys are kind of traveling through, you navigate through most of, like, what's the expanse, and you are now kind of aimed more toward Idris's actual territory, between him and whoever some of his, like, follower gods are. As you guys are continuing onward, Floki is kind of saying to yourselves as you guys were traveling, doing this thing, it was interesting that you picked the more difficult path. Interesting.
As long as it's worth it.
I certainly hope so. However, now we know things are going to be difficult.
That's right.
This I tell you. And as he does so, you kind of see just outside of the tower, kind of floating actually above it, just outside of the crenellations of it, you kind of see, similar to the pop-up stand that you guys had seen in the previous episode, you see this kind of stand that just kind of appears just outside of that's kind of floating right out there. Now again, this is thousands of years in the past from where you guys originally were, so this is not Jackery that is working at the stand, but you see this individual that it looks like literally a merchant stand that is just floating right outside of the tower's length in the air. You can see an individual there who looks kind of like a scruffy older man. He looks significantly older than he actually probably is due to long hours of working and just from frowning all the time. But he looks like he's probably middle-aged, but he looks significantly older. Has just kind of a little bit of a well-kept beard and a little bit of a mustache, hair kind of combed over to the side, and he wears just a typical merchant's kind of smock. Welcome to the Misunderstand.
Hello.
Where we show up where we're always needed but least expected. So, what do you need?
Clean on the house?
No.
What's the payment here? I'm kind of poor.
Hurry up now, I don't have all day.
I'm kind of poor.
Do you trade?
I trade money for objects, just like any other merchant would.
I was hoping for objects for other objects. Darn. Never mind.
Hey, Flippo. Got any gold?
Are you asking him if he has any gold?
No, Flippo.
Flippo, who's that?
That's his name.
Flippo?
The French man.
Oh yes, I have tons here. He reaches into like this. He reaches into this like he stretches out a part of his shirt that like turns into a pocket. He pulls out this huge wad of just cloudy gold. And here you go, my friend. And it just kind of just passes right over you in the clouds.
Oh.
I can print as much of it as you like. So he turns to the man behind the counter. As he's kind of, Floki's just kind of leaning out, himself being a cloud, kind of leaning out over the merchant stand. How much can this get me? And he kind of produces this huge wisp of cloudy, like, coins that are all kind of stacked up, and the merchant just kind of blows it all away. Nothing. And my patience is wearing thin. Do any of you have any money, or did I waste the trip all the way out here? I could have been 2 other places that I've been called to.
I mean,
I have 30 gold.
I have 15
I'm
gold.
be honest with you.
30 gold.
30 gold is all I got.
Well, normally I sell a healing potion for 50, but if you can make a very persuasive persuasion check on me, perhaps I can let it go.
I mean, I'll make my case. You know,
All right, 1 healing potion for 30 gold, so much as you can persuade me to do so. Roll your die, my friend.
all right. And my character, he's just like, 12.
A 12 is horrible.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't need a healing potion.
Because I feel so terrible for you, and because I'm in a good mood today, because my wife will hopefully be going into labor soon, so I can stop listening to her complaining and rubbing her feet all the time. I love you, pregnant wife. And I can finally meet my son, Jack. I will sell this to you for 30 gold, and then I'm leaving.
Fair enough.
Here is a potion of superior healing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
May your rolls be better on this adventure than the poor showmanship you provided so far.
Yeah, I have my portent dice. That's what that's for, buddy. My divination die.
As always, thanks for shopping at the Misunderstand, where we're always needed, least expected. I hope I don't see you again.
Bye.
And he pulls down the curtain and
Bye-bye.
disappears.
Man, that was his happy mood.
He was a grumpy goose.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, his son Jackery is way cooler.
Yep.
Yeah.
His son Jackie is a legend.
All right. So, with that awkward meeting aside, Floki just kind of says, "Oh, who was that guy? Never saw him before."
I have no idea. I don't even. Do you guys
I'm
even
really
use gold up
confused.
here?
No, I did not. Never even heard.
Really confused.
Yeah, I don't know. We're like poor. All of us, I'm pretty sure, like really poor.
I get that
So,
really
like,
gold.
I have to say though, the Misunderstand, cool name.
This is a pretty cool name.
Shame he's terrible at doing business.
I'm sure his sub will be better.
I hope so. Anyway, we are passing through the expanse. We will be meeting another tower soon, this I tell you. So, what shall we do, my friends, as we prepare for boarding? We can try to slow down the best that we can as we collide with another tower, but we are no doubt going to take on a great deal of damage. For all of these towers that we are going to now are much larger than us. When we collide with them, there is no turning back. We must take control of the next tower that we encounter as well. We cannot hope to just defeat it and move on. Our current tower will surely be destroyed on impact. Are you prepared for this?
I think so.
Let's do it.
Are we gonna stay up here? Are we gonna go down to the base and we're gonna try to like jump off when we collide? Is that what the sort of plan is?
So, do not tell the other little minions that are living the town below. But they're all going to die.
They're like you though, right? They'll come back, you know. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
Yes.
You don't sound too sure about that.
No, totally. So, anyway, that aside, we are going to crash, right? The rest of the tower is going to boom, gone. But our tower that we are in is going to we can hop off of that onto the other one. Hopefully, it is a more of a defensive tower. If it is more of an offensive tower, they may kill us before we even get to them. This is not good, I tell you.
Yeah, I can like make a little shield. Like when we make impact, maybe it will help like clear some debris away from us. I can make like I call it my little tiny hut. It's like 10 foot wide. We can all huddle in there. Nothing can pass through it.
Okay,
So yeah.
I like
we can
this.
do
This I
that.
tell you.
And then,
Okay.
then we can cross over after the debris is gone.
Is
Okay.
your ritual finished?
Ritual.
Yeah.
That's the ritual.
Oh, okay.
That
I was
is the
getting it
ritual.
ready.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And-
Yeah, so you guys probably have like half an hour until you're about to collide. So if you guys wanted to, also you can take a short rest. I don't think we really.
He
you didn't
gets
take any.
one key
You
point
get a
back.
key point back. That's right.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go down to the base, like wherever we plan on boarding. I'm assuming that it's like a little bridge that we make out of the cloud.
So his plan
He's
is
at
going
the
to be
top.
that you guys are pretty much on a tower that's on this island.
Oh, we're just
And
gonna fall.
So yeah, the tower is going to
Okay.
crash,
Well,
and
yeah.
then your tower
Keep
that's
us
on the
safe.
tower island is going to just tip over, and you're going to land onto it, and then.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we're on the top floor.
Mhm.
I'll finish the ritual.
Can we bring some of the little minions?
You can try, my friend.
grab a couple and bring. I can house 9 people in
I'll
here.
go down and I'll
So 5. We got 6 people. Try 3 little minions.
I'll go try to grab 3 little guys
All right.
and say, "Need you for something."
Okay. So as you're doing this, I'm going to say make just a general charisma check, just overall, because you're going to try and not scare them.
You're plus 0.
Because you're a tabaxi. Okay. You're a tabaxi wearing a skull. So the DC is going to be a little higher. So as you're doing that, you're able to round up one of them that is just like pinched in your arm, and it's just kind of just kind of squirming and like more or less like pretty much like crying. As you're kind of carrying this thing around, wearing the skull mask over your tabaxi head, just kind of, I'm saving him. All right. So as you're doing that, You set up the tiny hut. You guys can get safely inside as the island is kind of nearing this one huge god tower that's kind of awaiting kind of at the forefront of Idris's kind of area where his main god tower is. You guys kind of bypass as many as you can until ultimately you know that you are on a collision course with another one. And this one, normally when Floki's looking through the sight glass, he can kind of tell what kind of an island it is. And you guys can kind of prepare for it ahead of time. If it's one that's going to be more of a defensive island, some of them are going to be island towers that have morely like offensive things. They might have like crews with hooks and grapples that just kind of infiltrate yours. Some of them are more, they don't have so many entities or creatures in them. The island itself is more or less like a living trap that you have to kind of figure out, kind of similar to Immaculus's. As you guys had chosen the more difficult route, as he's looking through it, the islands are kind of shrouded in a little bit more cloudy mist, and you're not able to make out what kind it is. But of all the ones that you had been able to avoid, you avoided like 2 or 3 of them. But now this one you are clearly on an impact for, and you guys can prepare whatever you want before the island is about to collide, and then the tower will tip over, and you guys will be onto this enemy god tower.
Yeah, so I guess my ritual finishes. I got my spell book out, and I cast it, and like my wings, they glow red, and then they kind of like wrap all around us.
All right.
And it's just like a red dome of force. Then my wings go back to regular size.
All right, cool. Okay, so he does that. You guys are all kind of safely protected. As you guys are safely inside, you can kind of hear Floki from the outside. Impact is coming! 3, 2, whoop! After a whole lot of just kind of commotion that happens outside, you can hear from down below.
All dying.
And then Floki just kind of appears inside of where you guys are. Oh, that was brutal! Terrible to be them. Anyway, we are safely in here. This is great, I tell you. So, as soon as the tower stops moving, we know that we are on the enemy tower. We must get out and we must assess our area, see what kind of a tower we are on, and make a plan. After a little bit, you can kind of feel the churn of the collision kind of stop. From the outside, you can't hear like readily any kind of commotion. It doesn't sound like you're on any kind of like combat style kind of a tower that you collided with, and it sounds like whatever the like damage was, the collision has ended.
And the tower is pretty much like destroyed right now.
Yeah, it
so
toppled over.
So can I like look out from the dome and see what's out there?
Yeah. So where you guys, where you look out, it looks the equivalent of like you're sitting on an island on an ocean, like this actual island tower that you're on.
Nice.
This actual island tower that you're on almost looks like an ocean.
Ooh. When I see that, just in case, I start a ritual for water breathing.
Okay.
For us.
All right.
I mean, just in case.
Okay. And this ocean, even though it isn't literally water,
I'm still doing it just
it's
in case.
pretty much water. Because I mean, it is cloud. It is pretty much condensed water, but it's like misty clouds on the top, and way further down, it probably does solidify in actual water.
Okay.
But it's like kind of like half clouds, half water that would be collected in a rain cloud almost, and floating kind of on this kind of waterscape. And again, you guys are kind of floating in this debris of your tower that had landed, and your tiny hut is kind of like on some of the floating debris. You can see some other kind of debris islands and some other like little like smaller island, and all of them are only like maybe 20 feet across, like around. And you can see some other ones that almost look like they are the backs of like turtles. That would be the closest thing that you could quantify like from our world. These look a little more like kind of like smooth, polished like granite kind of more or less, and kind of like sleek. And upon all of them, you see a vast different array of treasure items. Of some of them you can see like different potions. Some of them you can see some plants with food and water. Some of them you can see immense shade that is like that you can see this like kind of manifested like burning light that the shade is kind of protecting it from, for any entities that prefer the darkness. It looks like there are all these kind of different enticing things that are on all these different islands that are kind of all leapfrogging about. And then at the very distance you can see an island that is different from all the other ones, that is a much like more solidified one that it looks like rainy crystals that almost looks like the equivalent of what would be sand up here in the god sky. And on this island is a single palm tree, and atop it looks like a crystallized coconut.
Oh.
and it's maybe like 100 feet away from you guys,
Okay.
with all these kind of like debris islands, kind of all peppered about.
All right. I guess I'll.
It's like a
finish the
straight
ritual.
path. Like,
Just about, yeah. Like imagine like if there's just floating debris everywhere, and the shoreline is 100 feet away.
All right. Once I finish
But
that ritual, I'll put
On all the
Yeah,
debris
I'll
again, or
mind-
like all the, like the one has a bunch of healing potions and weapons and all these different enticing things that are on all.
I could sprint.
Is Floki still with us?
Yes.
Floki, do you think those islands are traps?
100%.
Do you think if we succeed with the trap, do you think we'll actually get the shit?
Yes, this is all real.
Okay.
But you will probably die.
Should I? I think I should try.
These have killed Floki many, many times.
Oh yeah. Is there any of these that you're familiar with?
Oh, yes.
Which one?
All of them.
Oh.
Floki has died maybe a dozen times on islands just like these. All of them kill you differently, though.
Oh, okay. So you've never been to specifically these the ones?
This exact one, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But I can tell you that if you get to all of these things, they are your things.
Okay. I think.
It's just that most likely something is going to kill you at the same time.
Okay. And it's like a fight, right? Like you gotta fight something, or you gotta dodge a trap. It's not just you instantly die, right?
Sometimes, yes.
Oh God.
How many times did I tell you that I died?
A lot.
At least a dozen.
I think originally I told you once. This might have been misleading. Floki has died many, many times. But this is okay, because Floki comes back to life.
You're not a fighter though.
No. I'm an explorer. I discover things.
do you
That
wanna
is
lead
my
the way?
purpose.
Do you want to lead the way to one of these islands? Weapons.
I would like to try.
All right.
Yes. You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll finish the water breathing just in case.
Okay.
And I'll fly right behind you.
All right, I will do this thing.
While he's doing that, I tell my little dude,
Is he alive still?
Hey, he survived.
Ashley really wants that coconut. And then you can protect her and you won't have to deal with me no more.
And as like even from this far away, you can see that the coconut that's on the tree is the island's core. You can see that the fog that's feeding the island is kind of pulsing from that coconut that's on the tree. So obtaining that is going to grasp the island's core and make it into Ashley's island.
Really wants that coconut. And I put him down and I kind of push him.
Little gremlin guy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're going to push him into essentially the water?
Yeah.
Like straight towards the coconut.
You can breathe water too. It
Okay.
works
All
10
right.
people.
So the little guy, just kind of this little gremlin. It almost looks like a sapling from like League of Legends, like Maracai's sapling thing. As this kind of...
Yep, the coconut. Crystal thing.
And as it starts kind of waddling out, as it walks to the very end of the debris and just kind of goes into the clouds, you can kind of almost hear like a splash like it went into water. And then you can hear,
And it's on the bottom.
and you can hear it kind of like swimming along. And then you just hear,
R.I.P.
Floki's just kind of leaning over the edge. This I tell you, you killed it. How horrible of you.
Hey, you sacrificed all those innocent children down there too.
This I tell you. Anyway, let Floki go first.
All right, well, we're gonna go for the weapons, right, guys? I mean,
All right.
I think we might need them.
Well, we
Yeah.
need the coconut. Well,
Well, yeah, maybe if we get the coconut, then we could just go and get the other weapons.
yeah,
One thing.
Control the
Oh
island.
no, but then it turns into her island. It's all different.
One common thing that often happens with these islands. Once you take one thing, the trap is sprung. If I do this thing, and something happens, you may not make it to the island in time.
Okay. And if we make it to the crystal, could we go back for the stuff after we get the crystal and take it over?
I do not know this thing. I do not know what happens when the trap will be sprung.
What if we all grabbed a different thing at the same time?
That's a good idea.
That's a good.
Well,
That
we're
way,
probably gonna die.
that way, it's one trap.
Well, how fast are you? Do you think you could?
I could outrun the trap.
Okay, maybe we can try that.
All right. Yeah, the island where the
Can you
coconut
run
is.
like actually? Is it like
Can I run
was
on
the
this
little
ground?
thing like swimming or was it walking like just on the water?
It sounded like what you guys could pretty much see, like the little bit of a silhouette of it. It looked like from the misty cloud that's really thick at the surface is maybe like a few feet thick, and then below that is where the water is kind of more dense to where it was buoyant. It sounded like it was kind of swimming through there for just a little bit, and then it sounded like something grabbed onto it and pulled it down. It didn't sound like it was something like massive or anything like that, but with it being so tiny, whatever weighed it down, it immediately just dropped.
How fast can you go, buddy?
And how far away is that coconut?
It's about 100 feet away.
Okay.
And the islands are all like 15 feet apart from each other. All the little, just kind of, almost imagine like floating wreckage that would be from a crashed ship. That's kind of all dispersed everywhere. To navigate across them, it'll be a series of athletic checks to do that. If you wanted to like jump across each one.
What if it's acrobatics?
Yeah,
Acrobatics?
yeah, you can do acrobatics.
How is it?
Acrobatics. Where's that? +7.
It's not bad.
All right, so I'll dash. Then I'll use my monk thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Step of the wind to dash again as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
then
a key point, so make sure you
That's
deduct that
Then I'll use my Tabaxi ability,
to double his speed.
and then I have 300.
Oh my god.
Actually, he has 3. He's being dead serious.
Okay.
Wait, so are we still doing it at the same time?
I can try to get
So
multiple.
I think he's gonna go for all of them.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go for all of
He's
them?
got a fast.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So lightning fast speed.
So he's going 300 feet every 6.
Okay.
Jeez.
Crap.
So
All
what
right.
is it? How many feet per second?
So hopping across
50 feet a
each,
second.
hopping across like I would say it would take like 3 checks if you wanted to hop all the way across to the very end.
Okay.
But you can do it in one turn since you have 300 speed.
All right.
All right. So make your first athletics check.
Oh boy, that wasn't
14.
Can I
Okay.
say?
And that was acrobatics?
Yeah.
Okay.
bad.
What, Aaliyah?
I was gonna say, before he
help me?
leaves, can I just touch him and give him guidance?
Give me some guidance.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I can use
But
it
it's
on
only
any of these.
but it's only on one.
Okay, 22.
Okay.
What did you roll for your
15.
guidance? Oh, okay. All right.
Oh wait, I didn't roll guidance.
Guidance is just a D4.
Yeah, just had to be.
I,
So it's
I thought I could
the-
use it on any of these.
No, it's the first one.
Oh,
So it's 14 plus the 1d4.
15.
Okay, so 15 total.
Yeah.
All right. So after navigating the first one, you're able to jump across a few of the pieces of debris. The one that you do hit on, that is almost like the turtle-looking one, you do kind of feel like some kind of a living presence that's underneath of it. As you do hop across to the next one, since you have so much time because you have so much move speed as you're moving so fast, like the freaking Flash looking at shit in slow motion. As you hop across the one island that almost looks like a turtle thing, you can kind of see a silhouette of it at the base, and it looks like similar to a turtle's anatomy, except where the head would be, it looks like it's just a whole collection of moss, and like peeking out from the moss are a whole bunch of different eyeballs that are under there. It doesn't look like super menacing, but it freaks you the hell out when you see that.
And you said each island is within like 100 feet, just in like different directions?
Yeah, the main coconut island's 100 feet across, and all the like individual pieces of like wreckage islands are like 15 feet apart.
Oh, okay. So
It's
he's like
kinda scattered
he's not
everywhere.
that far from us, pretty much then.
No, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would say it would be like 3 checks to do the 100 feet. Each one would get you like 30 or so feet between hopping across a few of them. Yeah. But yeah, like the main parts of them are 15 feet apart, but there are a few individual parts that are like kind of stepstone that don't have things on them, but are still floating pieces that you're kind of hopping across to get to the main ones that have all the things on them.
And these islands look like almost like living things almost.
Some of them do, yeah. Some of them are literal like pieces of debris that looks like it's from your tower, from other pieces of towers that kind of float around in the expanse that kind of just collide and crash land, almost like meteors crashing on, and kind of the debris that just kind of floats now in this kind of oceanscape that's here. A lot of it is just debris, but some of it are kind of like these living looking things like what you see.
Okay.
Okay. And then next one I rolled a 15, so
Okay.
22.
All right, yeah, so that's good. You're heading just straight for the coconut island?
Oh, I thought I was.
No, he wanted to go for all. He wanted to grab
Like
all the
grab
treasure.
everything.
Oh,
and
okay.
take
So
coconut.
all right, so the first one you're grabbing stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to say roll a d6 first, and that's going to determine like what one you're at that has stuff at it.
Regular dice.
Yes.
Yep.
5.
Okay. All right. So at this one, this was the one that had a collection of potions.
Okay.
And you were able to find, and what you're scooping up really quick, you're able to find 5 individual potions that you're not identifying them really quick. You just scooped up as much as you could, and now you're running. However, as soon as you did pick them up, you noticed that from the direction that you were coming from, where you guys had crash landed, pretty much the edge of the island, you start to see kind of this giant like tsunami beginning to kind of form. from the ocean.
Lovely.
Keep going.
Keep running.
Keep
All right.
going.
And it's behind you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Like you guys gotta get out.
I keep going.
I'm gonna. My wings are coming out. I'm just flying, bro. I'm out of here.
Okay.
I'm going upwards over the fucking thing.
I don't
Taylor, I
know.
don't got none.
I got 0. We're goners. I think we're going swimming.
I mean, yeah, I could do a gust of wind to push us. That's about
I mean, I literally have nothing.
Were you?
I'm getting ready to
I
go
was hoping
swimming.
it. Wait, you said
Perhaps would be individual.
you said we're still knocked into the other tower,
Yeah, your
and
tower.
we don't see any like enemies or anything,
No.
and that tower's bigger than us.
Can you go back inside the hut?
Your tower island crashed and is like snail debris.
What?
So you guys are on this kind of like
No.
almost like this world
No.
kind of this tower
That's
island.
Another ritual spell.
And you guys are like on the edge of it kind of, and like your tower kind of crashed into it and all, and like you guys kind of, it seemed like it kind of drifted a little bit from the distance, from the edge of this island. You can see this big tsunami that's beginning to form.
I mean,
See what I
maybe we
can
can
do.
go back
I
in
mean,
the hut.
we can.
The hut is
And then-
gone.
I think the. I mean, how long does it last?
I mean, we can
it
breathe
lasts
water.
8 hours. So I mean, the hut would technically still be up. So I mean, I guess it would protect us. I'll read you the spell. It's creatures and objects within the dome when you cast the spell can move through it freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. Spells and other magical effects cannot extend through the dome or be cast through it. And the atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry regardless of the weather outside.
Okay, yeah. I would say for this, you guys could let it
Let's go.
crash.
All right, let's
All right,
go.
so
We're
in doing
going in
so-
the hut.
I'm still.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
You can come back in too.
I gotta get my mission done.
Yeah.
For Ashley.
Okay.
For Ashley.
All right. So
This is your
where you
purpose.
where you go next? You're trying to scoop up another island worth of stuff.
Look for those weapons.
Those weapons.
Okay.
It was 15, so 22.
All right. Yeah. So that succeeded. So roll a d6.
3.
Okay. So with that, you were able to find a magical sword and a magical bow. All right. So as you now scoop them up, where do you want to head next?
Third island, right?
How many islands
There's
are there?
3,
All
right?
right. Yeah, there are 3 that have
And then a
the
coconut?
like as far as the like usable magic items and stuff go. Yeah, there were 3.
Alright, I guess I'll go to the final one.
Okay.
12.
Okay. Only 12 as you're navigating. This one, even though it's getting kind of difficult as you're carrying everything, as you get about maybe halfway to where it is, you're maybe like 35 feet away from them because you've been kind of just like kind of crisscrossing going to everything. In this one, as you get to the one where another creature was kind of like one of those living creature things, this one's shell was much more sleek than you thought, and your foot slips.
Oh, hold on. As I see this happening in my mind, as I'm telling the future, I use one of my portent dice to turn that roll into a 17, and I adjust his course.
Okay.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Specifically.
That's sweet.
All right. Is that
It's
A spell slot, right?
I'm a divination wizard. You get 2
Okay.
rolls. I got a 17 and an 18
all right?
to replace any roll with that I can see.
All right. Let's go. So with that, luckily you did not die.
Wait, I would have done it.
There's a pretty good chance you would die. There's a good chance you could have survived, but there's also a good chance you could have died.
So it's a 17 plus whatever you have, so 7. So it was like a 24.
All right. Yeah. So with that, you're able to make it to the second island, or the third island, and then this one also had. Did you roll your d6 yet?
Nope.
That had it.
3.
Okay. All right. So for this one, you notice that there is a magical object that seems to be like an immovable rod.
No.
And then it also has 2 additional potions that you haven't identified yet.
To the coconut.
All right. As you're carrying all this stuff now, you're navigating. I'm going to say one more check to get to the coconut.
Oh my god.
Eat that.
Are you using the other one?
What'd you get?
11.
11?
I'm gonna need that.
First.
Dude.
You dead.
I need it. I
Let's
need
see what
it.
happens first. And
You can change it. Like when can you change it?
Let's see.
It's kind of gimpy if you see what happens first.
I mean, I'm telling the future. You can
okay.
you can replace a roll. Each one. Oh yeah, so I'll just use it right now.
All right. All right.
18 plus 7.
25.
So in doing so, you can feel yourself kind of like splinter, and you almost like kind of deja vu as you thought, like, another time I thought I was going to fall there, but I didn't. All right, and you're able to make it to the island with a coconut with your hands full of all these clinking vials and a sword and a freaking bow. And you're looking up at this tree, and as you're looking closely at it, it looks like this tree, how normal like palm trees kind of have like the jagged kind of bark on the bottom. This one is almost like kind of like a bluish kind of crystal, almost like something that was just kind of pelted with a hailstorm, and all this like moisture and hail kind of like formed into sharp, like jagged points. And from the top, you can see that the coconut kind of looks like it's made out of more or less just like, it almost looks like a snowball as you're looking closely at it. And it's about 35 feet up in the air.
You can double your jump distance. Another key point if you want.
Okay.
So how do you determine jump distance in this game? I don't even know.
You can jump. It's like long jump. So
It would be a
it's
high jump, right? Because
it's
30 feet
10
up.
plus feet, number of feet up to your strength score.
Let's see. High jump. Oh, high. Yeah, it would be a high jump, right? Because he's trying to jump up to the thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
So high jump is move plus 10 feet, and jump a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier.
Okay. So, and you said it's how long? How far up? 30 feet.
35.
35.
All right. And he's what, like 100 feet from me?
Yep. And he sees the tsunami beginning to kind of like mount, still way in the distance because you're moving at freaking super speed.
Can't really do much, so you're in charge. I have to just like jump up the tree,
I try to like. I do a flip
crawl it up.
to like up. What is it? The trunk of the tree.
Mhm.
And then I jump off the trunk and I try to grab the coconut.
Okay. So as you jump onto the trunk of the tree,
Oh god.
are you grabbing it with your hand or you
He's
hitting it
kind
with
of
your
kick
foot?
off of it. I
My
guess?
feet.
Okay. All right. So it's gonna hit you twice. So.
Okay.
So as you first put your feet onto it, you can kind of feel almost like the equivalent of touching something that is ice cold and how it almost like burns with how badly it is. And you can feel all these little hooks kind of like penetrate into like just a little bit under your flesh, and then they hook into you. And since you want to push off, you then rip them all out, and the bottom of your foot all just kind of gets like just kind of skinned away from you. And
It's okay, bro. I
take-
can heal you.
Wow, that was 1, and then all right. Yeah, so you take 13 piercing damage.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
And you pretty much, you notice that you didn't jump when you tried to. You ran up, you put your foot onto the tree, and then you just kind of lurched yourself backward, and you didn't really jump off the ground like at all.
So I did not make it to the coconut.
No. You put your foot on the tree and pushed backwards, and it hooked into you, and you ripped off. And you got the feeling like when you tried to jump, it was almost
You're up
like
in the air, right?
something that was just keeping you
I
down.
can fly over there.
Can you just fly over and get the?
I could, and I guess I'll try. Start making my way over there.
All right.
My wings.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna go good 100 feet in the air.
Okay, so what is your move
Fly
speed?
anyway. It's 30, so take a couple turns.
So the tsunami will be here.
So
So you have to just
how
wait
far
for the
away is the
tsunami.
tsunami from the hut?
It's gonna be here in 3 turns.
Okay.
I guess
Well, how fast-
I'll try to go back to the hut.
Okay.
Can I wind push him farther?
Him?
Gust of wind. I mean, how far? How
I think it's
far
like
is it?
15
60
feet.
feet?
Oh, 60 you
No,
got?
that's the
Range.
It
That's
goes
the range, right?
forward 60 feet. Let's see. Gust of wind. You do have a freeze.
Or can't Ashley just come over and put a wheel down?
It's a line of strong wind.
Isn't that
60
like the point of the
foot
coconut?
long, blast you in a
You have to
direction.
remove the core and put your core into
So
it.
it says
Oh,
any
okay.
creature in the line must spend 2 feet of movement for every 1 if it moves when moving closer to you. So that mean if she uses it against me, would it mean I could move 2 for every 1?
Yeah, I would say you could do that. Use it creatively. I would allow that.
Okay. I guess that if you use that, it'll double my speed to 60. You can do that and go a little faster.
Can you dash?
Well, then you have
dash.
1 turn until.
I mean, yeah, I could dash, and then that's 120.
That's a 160 and it's 100 away.
Okay.
And then once you get the coconut go upwards.
You do have to make a saving throw, though.
I could just choose to fail.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I want to go back to the hut.
Okay, so you make it right back. You get the feeling almost like when you were in the vicinity of the island that you were just weighed down. Your feet are just onto the ground, and then you're able to jump off.
Yeah.
All right. If he says that to me while passing, once I get within 30 feet of the island, let's see, I'm gonna use my bonus action to Misty Step onto the coconut and hold on to it.
All right. As you do that, you misty step and you appear at the very edge of the island on the ground.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
Why is there 2?
What's up?
Why is there 2 gust of winds?
Because one's a free use for your race, and the other one is just the spell that you can cast.
And now at this point, the tsunami has already passed where your tiny hut has been. It kind of already has passed where you guys were, as you guys were kind of inside of it. And it is now 1 turn away from hitting where you are on the island.
Okay, and I can't fly or use teleportation?
Nope.
Can I use any magic?
You can use magic. It seems that like movement to go up is
Okay.
nothing can happen on this island to go up.
Fly out of the island and then dive bomb it.
Okay. I mean, so I have 1 turn, or it's appearing next turn, so I have this turn and next turn?
You have this turn and then
Okay.
it hits.
I'll have to try. It's a good idea.
Your character's name is Jenny?
Yeah.
Hey Jenny, I got this bow.
No way.
Yeah.
Hello, Jenny. He's got
That's
bow.
literally.
And how is the little coconut thing, like, is it just hanging?
Looks like it's grown off the tree.
Okay. And does it look like it could be removed from said tree if you were to grab it?
Yeah.
Okay. I will. Can I cast magic missile upon it to try to break it off the like? So magic missile, you don't have to roll to hit or anything. It hits. Can I just send the 3 onto like the stem above it to try to destroy it and drop it onto me?
Mhm.
I'll try to do that. Doesn't work. Okay, I'll just die.
Get off the island and fly over the tsunami.
Like, how high is the tsunami?
At this point, it's mostly like crashing. It looks like it's designed to crash pretty much onto where the island is. So if I would say this turn, you could just make it above it, and like most of the water is mostly you're gonna be at the very crest of it. So you're only gonna get like misted, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll just fly. I'll just go off down and fly above it.
All right, in that moment of panic, you quickly just fuck is this wall of water's coming toward you, just fly up and just kind of get sprayed with a little bit of the after spray of the water as it just goes under the island. And you do notice that as that happens, the water is pretty much just under where the coconut is
Okay.
as it passes under the island.
I guess I'll go onto the island, swim the
up
water,
to it.
and just grab it.
All right, you're gonna drop down in the water.
I mean, I can't fly, right, on the island? I guess I have to, yeah.
All right.
Do I
Right.
see anything in the water?
So-
Investigate first?
So as you're flying down toward it, you're gonna get as close as you can to the island before you know where that magical barrier is, and then drop down, so that you're as close as you can be to the coconut. Where you're maybe like, where how it's like in the center of the island, you're maybe like 20 feet that you just have to ride the water to get to it.
Yep.
You can see that into the water below. You do see all these like large black kind of silhouettes that are under. They're just dark silhouettes that are maybe like this big, that are all kind of consciously like kind of swimming about in the water. It doesn't look like they have a tail or anything like that. It literally looks like it's just something this big that's just kind of in the water beneath it.
Okay.
And you just see a bunch of the silhouettes kind of, not like it's a swarm, but you see a few individual ones.
Okay. I'll cast invisibility on myself
Okay.
before going into the water. And then I'll try to make my way towards it, I guess.
All right. So as you go into the water, you can kind of feel almost immediately like the water kind of comes alive. And these creatures, whatever they are, you can kind of sense that they are coming with you, although you are still riding the current of the wave toward where the coconut is to try and get there before the water level drops too low. As you're nearing pretty close to it, one of those creatures does kind of latch onto you right about under here. And it feels literally like it's just a magnet that just kind of latched onto you. And suddenly you just feel like this heavy, like 40, 50-pound weight is now kind of weighing you down. And I would say make a strength check to try and stay above the water. And you can feel that there is another one that isn't like nearby, but it has sensed you and it is now swimming to where you are.
And they don't have to like roll to attach to me or anything?
Nope.
9.
All right. All right, so with that, it pulls you deeper under the water. So you're now below the water surface, and you're getting pulled away.
All right.
And you guys see this.
The
You see-
tsunami is passing. We're outside the hut.
Yeah, so you guys the current is still kind of there. The water level's a little higher, but the tsunami itself is already past where you guys are, and it's now downstream where he is, passed over the island.
All right.
You literally could go 300 feet again if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll go 300 feet again.
All right. So I would say again 3 athletics
How's that affect
checks.
swimming speed?
So your speed is halved, so you have
150.
150.
All right.
All right, so you're gonna try and swim.
Well, first, I was just wondering because I'm gonna have to go in the water to get them eventually. But I'll go. How can I get there?
So you can hop across most of the debris got kind of scattered, but there is enough of it that's where you guys are to where you can kind of grab a few floating like pieces and like hop on one, throw it, hop on the other. If your speed is that much, then I would say that you could. It's still going to be the 3 athletics checks, but using the momentum of the water, I would say that the few pieces of debris that you have to hop across, you're kind of also moving with the momentum of the water to where I would say it'd still just be 3 athletics checks.
All right.
And you can hop across without having to try and swim and avoid all the weighted anchors.
19.
Okay. All right. So on the first one, you see your friend that's kind of, oh shit, I gotta fix him, I gotta get him, and you quick and run across, and Floki's just, you get him, my friend. This I tell you.
Floki, help!
And this little fish, they're not like harming me. They're just trying to win
No,
you.
it's literally just like a lead weight.
Yeah, just go get the coconut, bro. I'm good.
Okay, I'll go.
Didn't you say we can breathe water?
Yeah, I can breathe underwater.
Oh.
All right, I'll try
Well, we come get you
to
later.
go get the coconut.
And remember, you guys are on a floating island of clouds.
While the
There's
water-
no bottom,
Why did fly?
I'll go
I'm out of the island, right?
as long as the weights don't weigh you down through the bottom first.
Well, okay. I can try to push
Alright.
them off or something.
Is the water like still within the coconut?
Stab 'em.
Like reach?
So in this turn, yes. This is this one
Alright,
turn where you can,
big.
with your heavy movement, yes.
18.
Okay, all right, so you're good. So one more check as you're now most of the way there, kind of hopping across all the debris.
24.
All right, nice. So you get to where the island is. As you're hopping across the debris, you dive into where the water is and you reach for the coconut. And as you were doing so, just make 1 athletics check as you do this. As some of the weighted creatures you can feel kind of swimming toward where you are.
17.
All right, nice. So as you go to reach forward, you can feel one of the weights that's kind of coming toward you, almost like a magnet of like just this kind of like lead attracted piece of metal that's just kind of coming toward you. And as you go to reach forward, you can feel one just suction cups on your chest, and then you are able to grab the coconut, and then as it weighs you down, you just feel it, and it just pulls away, and then as that happens, you just drop down onto the island. As that happens, and all the water just kind of like drains, almost like someone just instantly just kind of drained a shower that was otherwise kind of filling with water. You find yourself floating on some of the debris that was kind of all washed all around, and you were kind of under it. Now you find that weighted object that was under you is now like lifting you up now that you're out of the water.
Nice.
And you having the one weight that is on you, it's holding you up in the air. And it's actually like lifting you up the same way that like a balloon was, and you actually like let go of it. And it drops you down onto the island. The tree just kind of pulls back into a cloud form. Ashley is able to step onto the island out of the remains of the tower, and she is able to walk across what's now pretty much a solidified roadway that her and Floki kind of walk across as the cloud starts to reform as a god is walking upon it, and it's no longer a trapped island. It doesn't have any kind of a battery that's fueling it anymore. And she walks to where the coconut tree was, and she again just kind of plants her ship's wheel. It fuses into it, and again, this time an even bigger version of her society kind of forms. Floki and all the little gremlin guys kind of just reform that tower that you guys are at, and you guys are now on a bigger god tower amidst the game of the sky moving towers.
Nice.
And a part of that was that was a cool way to solve it. It was either like riding the water and surviving the weights, or you guys had to go fishing for the weights after you figured out that like they do the opposite out of the water.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to levitate on the island to get the coconut.
Okay.
I had this whole thing for you guys fishing and all that. So
You would have thought of that, bro.
Floki was going to suggest it, maybe.
You had time to.
I'll bait.
All right. So after that, as you can now see through the telescope, you can clearly see that Idris's tower is maybe, you might be able to reach it as you are. Otherwise, you might encounter one additional tower, depending on how accurately you guys are able to kind of navigate throughout the god sky.
She has navigator's tools. And she gets an additional D4 on them.
Oh.
Yeah,
Doesn't say I have any tools.
you should.
I don't have any tools.
Okay.
Says no.
She just smurfed on you, man.
Oh, fine. Fine. You don't,
Absolutely hyped her up. She just like,
fine.
I mean, if I'm
Fine.
supposed to
You're
have,
supposed to,
but I don't have them. You're the one who made my character.
I did make your character. I must have forgot.
all right. So as you guys are traveling onward,
You can use them if you get them then.
as you guys are traveling onward, navigating again throughout the expanse of all these kind of like cosmic debris that's kind of whisking past you guys, your tower slowly forming into like a ghostly kind of remnant of the city that you guys had left down below, though 100 years, or yeah, roughly 100 years in the past when Ashley had first lived there and built her tower. You guys are traveling through, you can see some of more clearly now that you're getting deeper into the expanse of where the actual god towers live, especially kind of the more chaotic and the less refined gods, the lessly worshipped gods, like where Idris lives and those gods that kind of fell in line with him. Even the air around you is kind of tinging almost like a red, and you can see some of the like kind of red electricity as opposed to the blue and white of the more pure part of the sky that you guys have first entered in. You can also see that behind you that some of the other gods, like Lowstar and then the god of justice and law and everyone, they are actually, you can see some of their like lesser towers are kind of following in your wake as they are kind of less weary, and they're kind of almost getting inspired by this lone goddess who had literally almost no worshippers and no power, as she is kind of spearheading her way toward this cancer that is just kind of eating away at the god sky, and as a result is causing all sorts of turmoil in the world below. All the gods that are kind of railing behind her, as you have this link to her and the god tower that she is currently steering, you can kind of feel all the other gods at your back and kind of their emotions and their intent, that they are kind of getting swayed by what you guys are doing, and they are slowly kind of joining the fight. You can hear behind you that some of the other lesser towers of the greater gods are kind of colliding with some of the lesser towers of the other gods that you guys are going into. And a little bit of a, rather than just childlike roughhousing, a little bit of an actual war is starting to kind of go on between these gods and the sky moving towers. As you guys are navigating, if you guys want to try to, you can try and pick up a little bit of speed and kind of bypass some of Idris's kind of like tier 1 defenses that are kind of around his tower.
How far are we away from his tower?
So you're
time-wise?
about like one more encounter tower away. You're kind of like at tier 2. He has like tier 1 defense, and then it's him.
Yeah, I mean more
We
like
have some time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Oh yeah, so you
minute-wise.
guys probably have like an hour or two until you're actually
Short rest
like
is what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Okay.
That and I want to try to identify the potions, the 7 potions, and
Yeah.
then
And the items.
Also,
too. Yeah. The
get
sword.
the bow and sword.
yeah. All right.
Thanks,
You might be able to use the sword.
Yeah, I don't.
Monks can, I think, use swords now.
I want to use my bow.
Okay.
All
I
right.
use this
So amongst the
Yeah.
amongst the
I'm not sure.
potions, there are
Depends on
2
what's kind of
superior healing potions, 2 greater healing potions, and then 2 potions of advantage. Which you drink it, you get an advantage on one thing of your choice.
Okay, cool.
And then 1 potion of heroism.
Nice. So
How long
2
does the
superior,
advantage
2...
2 greater.
Okay.
How long does the advantage ones work?
It's until your next roll.
Any character can use this.
Oh, okay.
Any weapon.
So like before you have to decide the one you want to do it on.
You have
Okay.
a shield in one hand, so you need a one-handed sword.
So 2,
What was that one-handed
4
sword?
healing,
That's
2
Depends on what kind of sword.
advantage. What's the last one?
Heroism.
Heroism. Okay.
Bless you.
Thank you.
You put those in your inventory.
I'll
Maybe not.
The magic items, it is a +1 bow and then a +1 longsword.
All right, I'll
You can use those.
give each one of us a healing potion.
Thank you.
I'll take the
Bless you.
superior.
Thank you.
I'll take a superior.
Okay.
Give a spear to this man.
Okay.
Then the other healing ones can go over there.
Well, you gave him weapons, to be fair.
Yeah, the lesser ones, yeah, they can go over
They
there.
can go over there.
Alright, so it was just regular healing potions? For the other
Two were superior, 2 were greater.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, how would we add that?
Just type it in add items, just type in healing, and then just add the greater.
It's just a
potion of
longsword?
healing.
Okay.
+1 longsword.
Thank you.
And what's up the bow?
+1.
Oh.
And then you have the heroism and then 2 advantage. Heroism, I think, just gives you the effects of the spell heroism, which is like a shield, like a health shield or something.
I'll give you the heroism and
Longsword
one of the advantage potions as well.
Cool.
And then
I'm just gonna make a note that it's an additional +1. Is that on the hit DC?
Yeah, if you type in bow, +1 should come up, and then you could add it and equip it.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
and then we're sharing the potions, one for each of us.
Yes.
And it's
For-
greater.
it's greater.
Yes.
Advantage, you just gotta remember, because it's like not technically.
It's a homebrew.
Oh shit.
Use the heroism one wisely.
And nothing comes up.
It just gives me 10 temporary hit points and bless.
Big. Big. Good.
Honestly, I think you should have it. Bless is better on a melee fighter.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know health
How long is it there?
There we go.
An hour.
Oh, cool.
It's really good.
The blast can't go away.
No, it's no concentration.
That's big.
It's good for a melee fighter, not so much for a spellcaster.
For the bow, is it short bow or a long
Is it?
bow?
Longbow.
Thank you.
Alright, so we can take a short rest on our way.
Mhm.
Cool. And get your key points back. Your 2 that you spent.
I go up to Ashley like, can you help my balls?
Hi.
My balls, Ashley.
Because the D10
I
is
wish I had
if
the
you're two-handed,
ability
the
to heal,
D8 is if
but
you're
I don't.
one-handed, so you would use the
Sorry.
Yeah.
Alright. Go take a rest.
If it helps, you were meant to do that. After all, you're serving your purpose, right?
Fuck.
Sorry. It pains me to see my followers be in pain.
It's fine.
It's actually difficult being a god.
Seems like it.
I feel like I shouldn't be one. I feel like I'm still a human, you know? Perhaps that's what makes a good god.
Yeah. Know how it feels.
If that helps, you're my favorite god.
That means a lot, Kat. Thank you.
It's Mother's skull.
There you go.
And
Thank you, Mother.
I walk away. A little bit of disdain.
Floki just kind of whispers something in her ear.
What was that, Floki?
I said your fleas! They taste delicious. I've been making soup out of them.
Thank you.
And then just kind of disappears in clouds. All right. So that you guys are navigating. If you guys want, you can try and bypass the next tower. If you try and do this and you fail, then you're gonna have a rough time colliding with it.
Do you have any navigator's tools? Yeah,
Actually,
what it is?
Can you make some cloud stuff that make them?
It will not have any substance, I'm afraid. Look, I can make this. Makes a big floppy dildo. Unfortunately, I can't even hit you over the head with it. And he just kind of disappears in cloud smoke. He just kind of keeps redoing it.
And what kind of check would that be? Out of game
What are you trying to do?
to just navigate.
Yeah, I would just say survival.
Ooh,
I'll go
Ooh,
up
my
to one of the
survival's
gremlins and be like,
+3.
that's not bad. What's
You're
You're gonna be like,
your
I pick him up, I'm like, she wants some navigator tools, and I go
Yeah,
push
what's your
him.
survival?
My survival is gonna be +2.
Okay, so no, that's not a great survival.
Great survival.
Yeah,
What is your
mine's a little-
survival?
+2.
That's not great. It's okay. It's okay at best.
I mean,
I know short rest.
So you just
doesn't hurt to try,
so I'll
right?
just do it here so I can show you. Short rest, you just click it. You know how many hit die you want to use? I'd say probably 3.
Yeah.
Okay, 15.
And then you just hit that. It rolls. And you just
Natural 20?
click it.
Let's
23?
go.
Okay.
For what, navigating?
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I blessed myself and then rolled a 23.
Okay.
all right.
And then,
Since you guys took the more difficult path, that pretty much had to be a natural 20 to work. All right.
Let's fucking go.
All right. So
What were you trying to do?
since you were able to bypass a whole lot of Idris's tier 1 defenses that were there through navigating deftly, and with him being so like unaware of an enemy god tower getting this far into his territory. He was slow enough to react to where you were able to find just a slight chink in his armor, and you're able to kind of navigate through.
Going on to the Death Star.
In doing so, and you kind of have a little bit of a clear view of where his tower will be. You see that from kind of down below, he had another reserve of towers. As they rise up to intercept you, and they're kind of coming closer to where you're going to now collide with 2 instead of 1, you do suddenly get a feel up from behind. As you guys look back, you can see that 2 other god towers, 2 other large ones, had bumped behind you guys, not as an attack, but as a friendly aid to help push you guys through. You are able to identify the 2 towers being from Lowstar, who is the god of vengeance and karma, and then Lorelei, which is the goddess of humbleness and compassion. And they both, right behind you guys, sent their reinforcements to crash into your tower and to push it through his other 2. In doing so, their 2 towers collide with the other 2, yours kind of scraping between them and just kind of barely able to kind of make it through as you're kind of watching both of the towers scraping against yours. Yours is kind of depleting as you're kind of getting forced through, and you're almost kind of reduced down to your kind of singular just tower that you guys are on your island tower as you make it through 2 of Idris's last defenses, and his god tower is waiting ahead. As those 2 gods now, as you're looking back, and those 2 gods, the rest of their reinforcements are also coming in. Their actual god towers kind of coming in where they are sending more of what they are producing out. You can see that other god towers that belong to Idris, the Ungrateful, and Maltarak, the god of the orcs, they are also kind of beginning, and you can just hear as they're all beginning to clash. Just a faint view down from where you guys currently are. You can't see anything in particular of the world below through the veil that kind of separates the 2 realms, but you do see kind of almost like a reflection of chaos and turmoil, and just like something is completely convulsing in the womb from below.
Ooh,
as all of this war is kind of happening between the gods, and it seems that the worlds are kind of bonded, that the more ungrateful and the more like barbaric and all those kinds of emotions in those gods kind of exert themselves and clash with gods of, say, gratefulness and calm and peace. And the more that they kind of clash, the more that they most likely are also clashing in the world below. However, as you are doing this and as you are navigating through now, just your lone tower going through the sky, almost like a car that's kind of running out of gas, and you can see this god tower of Idris that's kind of waiting ahead of you. And all this debris from all of the other gods that are battling is all kind of raining down from the sky and just kind of passing through you guys. Part of it kind of collapses, collides with the very front part of your island tower that was left. So now literally all that's left is your singular tower that's just kind of sputtering through the sky. You can see pieces of it are colliding in the Idris's tower on the island that you guys are approaching. And you can see that on the very end, your tower is beginning from that hit that had happened in the front. The actual like stonework of your tower is beginning to crumble and fade, and your tower is kind of slowly starting to lean forward. And as you're coming near Idris's tower and your tower is falling, a lot of you are trying to kind of gather yourselves, and Floki kind of says, "This is it, my friends. Where boys become men. I don't know, I'm not a man, woman, I'm clouds. But this is where it is made. This is where legends are made. To glory, this I tell you." And he starts kind of running along the very end of the tower as you kind of were climbing on the very end, as it wasn't really about to make it, and you're kind of on like the back part of the tower as it's coming down. You're now running up the end of it to try and make it to where when it'll crash onto the island. The front of it is most likely going to kind of get obliterated, but where you guys are, you want to just miss to where you're not going to miss the island, but you're also not going to just crash into Idris's tower. And as you're kind of running along the side of this kind of broken tower, I'd ask both of you guys or all of you guys to just make an acrobatics check to see just how deftly you're able to kind of manipulate this debris as this tower that you guys are on is simultaneously crashing on the Idris's, and you're trying to navigate through it all.
Can I make a fly check where I just stand up and then use my
you can fly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens with you. You roll a 4.
What do you get?
23.
Okay. Casually, you just 23.
How's Froki doing? Or Floki?
Floki, he's pretty much just running along beside you, and then you actually notice that his feet sometimes aren't even touching it. He's more or less doing this theatrically.
That's what I thought.
I go try to grab some dudes and hit a nat 1.
All right.
Gremlins.
That one. Oh, God.
Leah, what did you get?
17.
Okay.
Pretty good.
All right. So, as the tower is beginning to collapse, and as you guys are kind of running along the side of it, trying not to get to the end too quickly because you know it's going to collide with Idris's tower, but at the same time you don't want to get too close on the end that's going to break and fall off. You guys are kind of running along the side, balancing yourselves, and you see him just kind of lose his footing and he slips, trying to grab onto the side. His cat-like claws are kind of raking onto it, and then he begins to slide down the side and he's beginning to fall off. And it
Is
looks
that
like
the
he
one that
might...
we're all at.
The tower that you guys are all on, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm
So,
gonna
like-
do feather fall on him.
Okay.
So at least we're
All
going
right.
a little bit slower.
All right, and in doing that, you're now going to make it onto the island, and you're still going to get hit with some of the falling debris as this massive tower is also falling and is going to hit you, but you're not going to get like buried or anything like that because your fall is going to be kind of slowed. You're just going to get hit with a whole bunch of debris, and you take 19 bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god!
Between all the debris of this tower as it collapses and breaks, and all the debris kind of shoots out everywhere. Everyone else is able to kind of ride it enough to where after it collapses, they're able to kind of like grab onto something big as it kind of crumbles, and they're able to kind of keep their footing.
Don't use it yet. I have cure wounds.
Yeah, so do I.
Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't use the potion yet.
Poor little kids, bro.
No kid is hurt.
And with that, you guys are now crash landed onto Idris's tower. As all the debris kind of fades, and as everything else is all kind of, all the other gods are all kind of clashing in all their towers around in the sky. All kinds of different colors of lightning are flashing. All kinds of debris is whizzing past you, and some of it is also still colliding with the actual island. And that's going to be a contender during this encounter. You guys see coming out from the door of this like broken tower with all the debris that's kind of fallen in front of it. Only the doorway is kind of left, and you can see kind of closing it from behind him, and then it just kind of crumbles and falls as he casually kind of steps out. Is this kind of long, lithe, green-skinned creature, long of limb, and like an arachnid kind of face. And as he walks out, who'd have thought I'd made a god out of you, human? He's walking out, and Ashley, at this point, in the remains of her tower, is kind of standing there along with you guys. I could say the same thing for you. You were nothing but... You're a single devotee. You know what? You were nothing but a rat. And I accidentally turned you into a wolf. Now everyone's suffering for it. And we're gonna stop you. And Floki just kind of appears behind her. Yes, we are going to pull your pants down to your ankles, and we are going to spank you in the behind. No, not how you want to do it. I apologize, Ashley. I'm sorry. This is a serious moment. I fade away in the background. I will fade away.
Goodbye, Floki.
Hi, Floki.
Oh no, he just kind of takes a few steps back. Lets you guys. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. Ha And I hope you fight.
Let's fight. Yes.
And Idris kind of... You are an absolute joke, you know that. You think the lot of you are going to stop a god in his own home, knocking on my doorstep. This is the day that you all fall. And he looks at Ashley for the last time. And that's going to be initiative.
Oh my god. Initiative, go.
Yeah, is there any way I could cast Cure Wounds real quick?
Yeah.
at
Oh,
second
it's
level?
monologuing?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
I'll do first
I got a
level.
94.
Um,
My initiative.
You get 6 health.
Big.
Okay.
roll one here.
We're not making modifications.
Alright, so that's 6.
Natural 20?
I got a natural 1. Oh my god.
I'm going
So
first.
you get an additional 8
Actually,
from
maybe
me.
not. 21.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom.
That's where you guys all are. Using all substitute
Pretty decent.
pieces.
Alright.
Maybe you can
I
cast
have that
projectiles
potion as
too.
well.
And
And
then
I
heal.
heal
You
myself.
should drink your heal.
This ghosty guy will be
That's your
Floki.
bonus action.
Because I have the glass.
Ooh, that is
That's big.
spooky
And it gives you 10
initiative.
health.
Can I use it
Oh my
before
God.
initiative?
No, you just drink it as a bonus action. Actually, you can ask me.
Can I drink my heroism potion during the monologue?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I get blessed. Whoa.
I don't know if you get blessed for initiative, though. I don't know if that's a thing. I mean, actually, it might be. I'm not familiar with bless because I'm not a big blesser. Although I did just get it on my campaign character. So.
Quick question, Dean. For the +1, I put it in crossbow heavy +1. Is that okay? Because they didn't have long or short.
Oh,
It was
Let's
either
see.
heavy or
Person's gonna
light.
be
I just
Ashley.
want to make sure I'm doing
No,
it right.
Ashley is sick.
Crossbow. Does that do the same as the
Let
longbow?
me check the camera.
So it's the range is different and the damage is like 1d10
Here,
instead
let me see
of...
if I could fix it for you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're
I don't.
good.
I tried like finding short bow and long bow and it just
Sometimes
was
it's
not
weird. Yeah. Let's see.
coming up.
Okay.
I need a stand.
If you just refresh your page or your thing, it should pop. The longbow +1 should pop in there.
Thank you.
Yeah. The camera looking good?
Yeah.
Alright.
There we go. I'm gonna delete that other one.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna be on last. I should have brought haste. That would have
Oh god, all my bones are cracking.
Oh my god.
been 6.
600. I mean, I would just like run into him with my claws like this.
Explain.
I would die.
I think it would be 600. I don't know if it
Y'all
doubles
good?
everything or just a right.
All right, so initiative. All right. All right, so 20 plus.
Yes.
All right, what do we got?
Wait, can I use bless on initiative?
I let me look at that because I wasn't sure.
It is a check.
Tackle. No, it's a tackle and saving throw.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so what do we got?
22.
All right.
I'm 21.
Anyone? Can you do something for me? That's because you're a freaking cleric. You're freaking.
All right.
Is it your
We got a 15 plus. All right, looks like Idris is going. All right, 10 plus. All right, what did you guys get?
What'd you get,
A
Dean?
3.
Oh, okay. I got a 7.
I got a natural 1.
Oh. Oh, dang.
Okay, so I need to.
got a natural 3.
I attack twice in the round.
What are you doing?
I attack twice in the dip.
So you can see because you have mobile, you can
Alright,
attack
taking all
them and
the-
he can't attack you back when you're running. So you can attack them and walk.
Okay.
How far? Is it? We'll have to figure it out.
So what's the lineup?
And then.
All right, so it's going to be one more time. What are all your names? Shane, your name is Mother's Skull.
Mother's Skull.
All right, Dean, you're what?
You're wrong.
You're on.
Yeah.
Greyjoy.
Yeah.
All right, Aaliyah.
Rose.
Rose.
You're
And you're Jenna.
What?
Jenny.
Relative.
Kitty.
Don't do it.
Oh no.
Don't.
Better not.
Don't do it.
Oh, is she
Down
gonna
to
pop up?
fair.
Aurora? She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it.
Internet, prepare to see our cat again.
Making another guest appearance, as per usual.
Coming.
All right.
She's coming. She's looking.
I'm sorry, Dean.
Go on.
All right. So, one mechanic that you guys can note of this fight is that Ashley, she can give, she's got an aura around her. She's going to focus most of this fight into protecting you guys. She has an aura. Anyone in a 15-foot radius of her gets a minus 10 damage received, like once per round.
Okay.
She also has an aura that you guys can use one time, like across all of you, one time ever,
Any range or
Two.
you have to be within 15.
any range.
Okay.
For this one aura, and that's one time you guys can re-roll anything.
Okay.
But that's one time between all of you, one.
Okay. So not each of us.
No.
Just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 15-foot aura, you get 10 less damage on one damaging ability per turn.
Yep.
It refreshes on your turn. You have to be within 15 feet of her, and then anybody can re-roll one roll, no matter what it is, one time.
Okay.
All right? And you guys can also move her at the top of the initiative order.
I thought my cat claws did more.
They don't do more. They just do slashing.
Okay.
All right. So Shane, or Mother's Skull, what do we do?
How far away is this guy?
From you, he's about 40 feet.
40 feet?
You can reach him, brother.
I can reach him.
Going in?
I'd actually say like 50. You can still,
He-
still
it's
reach him.
50.
Yeah, it's probably 50.
Alright, so I run up to this man.
All right.
And I
Didn't have a tabaxi mini, so you're a bunny rabbit. Let's go.
Bunny mini.
palming strike him twice.
What are you doing?
Palming strike or whatever it's
A
called.
stunning strike?
Stunning strike him twice.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that. That's 2 key points.
And then I can bonus action.
You could bonus action if you want to do. You can either do Hand of Harm to do more damage, or you can bonus action to do 2 more hits with Flurry of Blows.
I'm tempted to do
Flurry of blows.
I am tempted to send it.
I mean, I'm down with that. Whatever
Alright.
you want to do, brother.
I'm a bonus action, Flurry of Blows. Hit him twice again.
Okay.
So that's going to be 4 attack rolls.
And then I'm going to use
Oh
my...
my god.
Well, I'll do this first.
That's burn phase.
So actually, first,
Oh.
since you entered his area,
Shit.
make a con save. Forgot about. He has a passive aura going on.
Ew. Oh.
Plus...
What's your con
11,
save?
15. It's plus
All right,
2.
you failed.
Oh.
What?
Bitch.
All right, you take 9 lightning damage
Oh my god.
as he
Resist
emits.
lightning.
He emits. He has an aura around him that's kind of like producing electricity. You get the feeling that if you would have passed, you came so close to getting it. You have a feeling that if you do pass it, then you're immune to it afterwards. But you
Okay.
failed. You took the damage.
That's the first time I do that.
And he kind of has like this kind of lightning aura that's kind of around him. You can kind of feel the static, kind of like taste
You
the
have
metallic
10
mouth in your
You have 10 temporary
taste in your mouth.
Oh, okay.
because of
So,
the heroism. And it did how much? 9?
Yeah, 9 lightning.
Yeah, so you would have.
I can just
Yep.
go.
All right, so you make your attack rolls.
Alright, so we.
So I can only use
Sorry.
when I'm within 5 feet of them, or I can.
Gotta
If
ask
somebody
you any
hits you with an melee
question.
attack.
So it's after they hit me,
Yeah.
and they're close to me.
Yeah, so if you want to move up, you can smack him.
Are my palming attack for stunning?
Stunning strikes.
Or is
Yeah.
it special
So he would have to make a saving throw after you
every
hit
single
him.
attack?
Yeah, if you use 2 of them, so it's gonna be for 2 hits.
Okay. So
Make your 4 attacks.
16 plus 7.
That hits.
And when do you use a special?
What?
When do you use a special?
On
7
any
plus
spell that does
7.
lightning damage.
That hits.
Or if
Okay,
you-
I don't even gotta
you
do
can
that.
get your max damage.
Every single
Is
Um,
17 plus
One
7?
time.
one time per round.
One
The
time
first
per
one.
17 plus
7
It's max
plus 7.
damage is
Oh, that missed.
14. Okay.
Okay.
Plus 4.
That hit.
Hey! The blast coming in
Alright,
clutch.
so I hit this man twice with stunning strikes.
All right, you just come in and
2 saving throws. Con.
so there's a 6.
And
All right, there's a 16.
pass.
So the first one.
The first one, he would get stunned if he doesn't have legendary resistances.
Okay, so he's gonna burn legendary resistance.
Okay.
That's good though.
So now I do the other 2 attacks.
Wait, those are the first 2? Then
Those are the first 2.
you would get 2 more if you're going to do flurry of blows, which is
Yeah.
another key point.
And those are just regular attacks?
Those are just regular attacks.
Alright. 5 plus 7 is
12, that missed.
Plus the 13.
13.
All right, that missed.
Alright.
All right.
Oh, that's gonna hit.
29.
Okay, yes. Breaking news. That hit.
Alright, so I attack this guy 3 times.
Oh,
So 3d6 plus 12.
36 plus 12, indeed.
4.
Okay.
6. So 10. 5. So
It's 15 plus 12.
15 plus 12.
All right, so 27.
Then
That's right.
I'm going to use my tabaxi ability to double my distance, and I'm going to run around the tower.
Do you
And
need
dip.
to double your distance?
But I don't
Can
want to be
you-
in front of this man.
Oh, okay.
You don't take you have to disengage.
I have
He
mobility.
has mobile feet, which means if you
Oh.
hit an opponent, they cannot do opportunity.
Nice.
I'm going to
Alright.
run all the way around. It's 50 feet away.
And remember that
Basically,
recharges
like-
if you spend a turn not moving.
All right. All right, so with that, it is now Rose's turn, then Idris.
I'm going to move up my 30 feet.
Let's see if he's 50, 30 is more like there.
And then. Okay, well, I'm not hitting you, so.
What are you using?
What?
What were you gonna use?
Guiding bolt.
All right. Okay. All right, is
But I
that
got
it?
a 4, so. And then do you have to roll for bonus actions too?
Well, what are you gonna use?
Yeah,
as
what
your
are you gonna
bonus
use?
action?
My only bonus action is spiritual weapon.
No, you could just summon that
Mhm.
immediately
Okay.
on top of him. It's a 60-foot range.
Okay. Well, I'm going to.
Well, actually, you can't cast 2 spells in one turn, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to wait until next turn.
Yep.
Like if you can walk up to him and hit him, or walk up to him and use a cantrip, but you can't cast 2 spells in one turn.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I forgot. I'm blessing myself, so I'm gonna re-roll.
Well, you didn't. You
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Because I forgot. Okay, whatever.
Because then you wouldn't have been able to do Guiding Bolt.
Yeah.
Okay, well I do not.
Let's just restart the whole episode. Okay, hey, we're roleplay table.
Okay, I don't do anything then.
Okay.
I just sit there.
All right. So he's going to. He's just going to charge forward. And you're a human, right? You're a high
He's a
elf.
half elf.
Okay, half elf. Okay. All humanoids are the same to me. They bleed. He charges toward you with a spear, and he's just kind of very, very nonchalantly, the way that he kind of does everything. He's going to attack you twice with the spear.
Does that do the lightning? Because he moved into it?
Yeah, she entered a space for the first time. So she will take... Well, first she has to make a con save. So make a constitution save. And there's a 25 to hit, and then 23 to hit.
What reaction?
When somebody hits you, that you can make them take some damage if they do a dex save.
Oh, Wrath of the Storm?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they both hit.
Okay.
And I guess I'm going to use my reaction to do Wrath of the Storm. But you have to make a DC. Dexterity.
Natural 1.
Okay, well. You take 2d8.
Okay.
Lightning or thunder?
I would do thunder.
Thunder.
Oh, something tells me that. All right, 2d8. What we got?
Which one's 8? Wee 12.
All right, cool. Okay. All right, so bring us back to him. After he gets a little bit, now your turn. And he kind of releases his lightning kind of passive, so you have to make a con save.
Oh.
You're going to hit me, so.
All right, okay, there's only 3. 3 lightning damage.
Okay, well, that's half for me, right? Because
Yeah,
I'm.
yeah, he's lightning,
so-
So.
yeah, 2. And then he hit you for both. He rolled low on both of the die plus the lightning damage, so he hit for a total of 6 slashing, and then 8 lightning.
Okay.
So you take 10 total.
A second, kitty.
All right, and that's going to be the end for his turn. So now bringing us to Jedi, and then you're on, and then it's his lair action.
Oh.
At the bottom of the order.
His what action?
His lair action.
Oh.
His erection. What do we got?
Alright, so I am going to actually cast Firebolt.
Okay.
And that does not hit.
All right.
No.
So you just kind of
I'm scared.
disappears off in the distance again. Even like all around you guys, all the different towers are all kind of colliding. The sky is kind of rippling with electricity. Some minor debris is kind of crashing down, and one of the large towers, they do collide, and it looks like debris is about to fall down and kind of land onto the area. You can't tell exactly where it's going to be yet. How it's going to be decided is that I'm going to roll d4. Each part of the board is like associated to a number. Whichever one that board is, whoever's in that quadrant has to make a save. If they fail, they take damage. If they fail by a lot, they're buried. And then that corner is going to be difficult terrain for that turn. That's how it's going to work. So we'll see it happen, but
Quick question, can I
Uh-huh.
cast
Deflect missiles.
Firebolt and
So
also,
if he
because I
tries
have
a
2
physical thing
attacks
you
per
can
action,
You can use
can I
your
also
action to
just
lower
throw
its
one
damage.
of my
And if
javelins
you reduce it to 0, you
as a
can
second
throw it.
action?
yeah.
Okay. Going to do that.
With these.
So that would be a 16 to hit.
Okay,
If,
that
if
hits.
it's physically damage, okay.
That will be
Then
a
you can
total of
reach
6
like that.
damage.
All
piercing.
right. All right. So if your fireball just misses, you're just like, what about this? And you see the arrow he just kind of flicks it aside with his spear, hits, but doesn't really do much. All right. So then you're on turn.
Alright. I'm going to pull out my spell book.
Okay.
I'm going to kind of reach into it, grab some fire, throw 3. I'm going to throw a firebolt. Just throw a firebolt for right now.
Okay.
20.
That hits.
It's gonna be 17 fire damage.
Nice. Fire. Cool. All right. Kind of emanates. You can kind of feel the heat kind of radiating off his body. The little bit of like pusses that just kind of form and boil from the heat, kind of on his green skin. Kind of, you can hear them pop from how close you are. All right. You gonna move?
Seems like a good idea. Yeah. I'm gonna move. Wait, this is Ashley?
Yeah.
No, I'll stay near Ashley. You know what? I'll go up into the air and I'll float behind Ashley.
All right. All right. Floki just kind of, oh, he can fly! The pigeon can fly! Look at him!
Indeed.
All right. Okay. So now for his lair action, he's going to do cloud bending.
What?
You can kind of see him just as he kind of whirls the spear around. He's got kind of stomps it onto the ground, and then he's going to target you,
Yeah.
Jenai.
Oh, Jedi.
Jedi.
Go ahead and make a dexterity save.
Okay.
As you can feel, kind of the cloud ground beneath you kind of rumble for a second.
Okay. This would be a natural 18 plus 7.
Okay, nice. So you passed. So as you can kind of feel that in that split second, your instincts kind of take in as a ranger, and you're just going to dodge to the side. So you're now going to be 5 feet in either direction. Which way do you want to go? This way or this way?
Let's go this way to the left.
All right.
Thank you.
So you jump out of there, and similar to like earthbending in Avatar, when it just piece comes out of the ground and can shoot something, that same thing would have happened. Since you passed, you just take a little bit of bludgeoning damage from the little bit that catches you in the side as you jump out of the way. More or less like you dived out of some of like the direction and it just kind of hit you to the side a little bit. You can tell that from the force of it and the size of it, you would have actually like gone flying toward him. So as a result, you only take 3 bludgeoning damage as it kind of catches you in a little bit of the shoulder and kind of cracks, like doesn't crack a rib, but hits you in the rib. As you kind of get nudged to the side. With that, we're at the end of the order, so now I'll roll d4. And okay, so in like this corner of the board, you can see some of the heavy debris from the towers that are all kind of clashing all about you. Even overhead, some massive towers you can see from kind of underneath their cloudy underside as they're kind of floating over, and some of the smaller towers are clashing into them. Some other gods are kind of coming in, some of the lesser towers, the bigger ones, and all the debris of one of the bigger ones kind of comes crumbling down and all just kind of showers all this area of the map. For this round, this kind of quadrant of it, you guys are kind of just on the edge. This corner of the map is going to be difficult terrain. If anybody was there, they would have possibly been kind of hit by some of the debris that was falling. But that area is now difficult terrain. And no one's there, so you don't have to worry about rolling for it yet. But just remember, that corner is difficult terrain going forward. Now we're back at the top of the order with Mother's Skull. What do you do?
Can I like stay near the building and try to go around the difficult terrain and get to him?
Your move is 50?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so this is... Yeah, you could probably
just go straight to him?
Yeah, you could skirt around the side and just get to him, yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna stunning blow him. Use my last key point. And then also attack him with a
All right.
regular one.
Okay.
You should have 2 left.
Oh, I thought the Fury blow. Okay.
Flurry of Blows is 1,
I thought
and then
that
2
cost
stunning
2.
strikes is so you have
Okay.
2 left currently.
Cool. Alright, I'll use my first one as a stunning blow on him then.
All right.
16 plus 7.
It hits.
Big. Alright. He has to try to save it.
You want to declare that after you hit. Like you can
All right.
see if
It
you
was a
hit or
19.
not, and then do stunning strike
Oh, I can do it. Okay.
after you hit, just so you don't waste it. Because that's
19.
Mhm.
I guess that passes. Alright, I wanna
Well-
attack.
Okay. Number.
I wanna attack him.
Does he get flanking?
Shane, yes, he does.
Okay.
What does that mean?
You get advantage.
You get advantage. Yeah.
I'm behind him.
20.
Natural 20 or regular?
No, right.
20. Okay, yeah.
Alright, I'll try to get him again.
All right.
You're bumping the stunning strikes.
I wanna stun this man.
It's probably gonna just legendary resist it.
I mean, I'll use
If you get
I'm
it down,
using
then
his resistance.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, and I had to do this before, but you have to roll for getting into his area again.
Oh, because he didn't take damage.
Nope. All right. So you take, it's 1 lightning damage. Roll to 1.
It's actually big.
It's fucking big.
That is huge. All right.
All right.
So he has to make the save again.
That is a natural 18, so it's 24.
Okay, I'll just hit him twice then.
All right.
With what?
Just regular type. Oh, shit. So 2d6, 3, 5, 8 plus 8, 16 damage.
All right.
And I'll chill there.
All right. As you just at the end of your turn, he's going to take a legendary action, and he is going to use sweeping spear.
Oh.
He just kind of, I can hit all of you, and he kind of swirls around. Anything within a 10-foot radius of him is going to get hit.
Sorry, Mia.
So he rolled first. That is a 16 to hit, so it would be against Aaliyah since she's in front of him.
Can I use my reaction again?
Your AC is higher than 16, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's 18.
Yeah, then it didn't hit.
But I can still use my reaction if I get hit.
Yeah, but he didn't hit you. See that?
If you wanted to get hit.
And then that is a 23 to hit.
Yikes.
Say that hit you.
Well,
All right.
well, actually.
So that is 10 slashing damage, and then 5 lightning damage.
Oh my god, this guy's kind of bumps.
What, using that potion next turn?
So just kind of glances off of your armor, but it's able to catch you as he whirls around, kind of hitting you with the dull end of the blade, but hits you nonetheless. All right, so that's the end of your turn. Rose's turn.
I'm going to try to swipe him with my longsword.
All right.
And then you could, with that, you can bonus action spiritual weapon.
23 to hit.
Yes.
Okay. So 5 slashing damage, and then I'm going to use my bonus action to use my spiritual weapon. And that is an additional 7
All right.
force damage.
For spiritual weapon? You have to roll to hit for that as well.
You have to? Well, I asked that last time. Okay, that doesn't hit.
Okay.
But now it's out for the fight.
All right. Okay. So are you going to try and move? You get an opportunity attack against you. Oh yeah, and roll with a save. You started your turn in his area.
Well, I thought you said if you
Whoa,
pass
whoa,
it
whoa.
once.
Oh, she passed?
I believe.
Oh, no, she
Oh,
didn't
no,
pass.
she didn't.
Yeah, she failed.
6
That's
plus
fails.
what?
Constitution, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Yikes.
All right, you take 3 lightning damage.
Okay, well, it's 2.
Ed?
But you pass it really good.
I'm going to.
I'm getting dicked on.
You kind of There's always happens.
Yeah, Shane always dies.
I'll stay there.
Okay.
Leave some healers. This
All right, Idris'
Plus, I
turn.
have a healing potion. I can heal
So-
myself no more.
You can as a bonus action.
Oh, I thought it was key points.
Well, you have the healing potion, I mean.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, yeah. He is going to do another sweeping strike on both of you guys.
Is it a bonus?
'Cause he recharged it.
Use mine.
So he's going to swing at you first, Rose.
You what?
And that's a natural 1, so he missed. And then again, Shane. 25 to hit.
Yikes.
Yeah, well,
I rolled a 17 plus 8. Holy crap. All right.
Jesus.
All right. So that is 9
getting
slashing
lucky.
plus 5 lightning.
14.
cool.
What do you get?
I still got 20 health. I'm chilling.
Really?
He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that.
All right. So that is the end of his turn. Jenna's turn.
Fucking
Use
go.
smack to myself here because I only have long bows. I don't have short bows. So I'm gonna use my javelin again.
Why don't you use your
There you
bow?
go.
I only have a long bow.
What is that? What's the difference?
Well, the range.
Isn't it like 30?
It's like 100. The
Or
longbow
100?
is like 100 something
Yeah.
feet.
Well, it's like minimum of 150 feet.
No, that's
No,
that's
that's
the
the
minimum
max.
with that's the max without attacking with
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Yeah,
No
the second
way.
number is your disadvantage.
Literally, I thought this entire time that was like the far, like,
No.
oh my god, okay. Longbow it is then. Holy
Let's
shit.
play the ranger in our.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
That was my first campaign. I did the ranger.
There you go.
Oh
Wow.
my god. Alright, so here we go. 14 plus 8.
That it?
You have to be 120 feet away from someone
Literally,
or you get disadvantage.
Well, I wanted to make sure I was like
Dude was there.
playing by the rules, you know? Oh, yeah. Okay, so
That was just one
that's
free turn.
6, but I'm going to also use my
Spiritual
Colossus
So
Slayer,
it's just as you're
Okay.
attacking every turn,
which
you
is
can
an
have an
additional 1d8 damage since it's
But
above
it's
its
also a regular
HP
spell.
maximum. Or below
So I
its
don't
HP maximum.
use a spell.
Okay.
So
attack. Use this.
that's going to be 2 plus
So it's first level
6,
spell.
so 8 damage total.
All right,
For
cool.
my
I
first
only have it
attack.
for second level.
All right,
third.
Arrow
Oh, maybe
kind of
it's a
passes
second
through
level.
where Rose is. She's
So
kind of
you
not
use a
enough
second level
in
spell
range
slot.
to really give him too much cover. You're kind of peeking over. That arrow, as he's kind of distracted after he does his strike, that one kind of sticks him in the shoulder. Ah, starting to get annoying. Fucking elves and humans, a lot of you. I'll spill all of your blood.
I'm a cat.
Wait,
All right, keep going.
I'm out in his
do
ear.
another one.
Or you get 1 HP.
That's going to be
Better be checking that healing.
Dude.
24 to hit.
All right, that hits.
Die to the lightning.
And then it's going to be...
Just die to a pass if that'd be brutal. What did he do? Oh, he was just existing right there. I couldn't do anything.
6 plus 5. So 11 damage for the second hit.
All right, cool. Second one comes in right after he pulled the arrow out. Stabs again. He kind of looks to you. I'm fucking ripping your skin off your face.
Yeah.
All right, you're on his turn.
Alright. You said we can move Ashley on our turns?
Yep.
How was her move speed?
30.
Me and Ashley will move forward 30 feet.
I might be using Ashley's thing if I feel
Now I'm
lightning.
trying to get Ashley to like.
Oh. I don't want Ashley to
You're
get
right.
harmed though.
She's looking down. She's definitely tankier than us. I'll hover 15 feet above her. We'll say that. So I'm in a range. And then does that put Aaliyah in a range too for now?
She's in range, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What about me?
15. Just up there.
Just shy.
Ooh.
And then I'll from my vantage I'll cast.
I'd say
Scorching Ray
I think
on-
he is 15 feet away from her. Like he
Okay.
is,
Yeah.
and you're on the other side.
I'll cast Scorching Ray on the boss.
Okay.
So that's 3 beams of reaching my spell book. This time I'll pull out the 3 beams and shoot him at.
All right.
Boom. It's gonna be a. That's fucking over 20.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's gonna be a. For the second one, it's gonna be an 11
All right, that one missed.
and a natural 20.
All right, critical.
Oh.
Max damage.
Alright,
Nice.
so for that Scorching Ray, it's 2d6, so just do 12,
Mhm.
and then I'll just roll the damage. 12. I can reroll ones because of my feet. Flames of Felgus. Oh, fuck, that just moved this one. It did. It's 10.
I'll just set it to the highest number.
No, it actually
what it
was. I don't know if it was, but
think it
10,
was.
12, 17 on top of that 12.
All
Fire
right,
damage.
29. Cool. All right, as all this fire kind of rains down between him getting kind of bombarded by everyone, you just from the fiery like the fireball that kind of like covers him. He just goes kind of wisping it all out with his fists, and he's gonna at the end of your turn he'll
Yep.
make a basic attack as a legendary action, his last one for the turn, and he's going to do it against Aaliyah, who's in front of him. Out of my fucking way! He's gonna slash at you. There's an 18 to hit.
Her AC is 18.
My armor's 18.
All right,
Rotate.
and
She has a heavy armor. He has heavy armor.
Would you
There
say
it
the clouds are like stormy or anything?
oh yeah, is it like?
Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Question.
you are in a storm cloud essentially. Yes.
Okay.
You're done. You're done, buddy.
right now.
She's going in.
So he does 10 slashing, 5 lightning. So it's gonna be 10 slashing, 3 lightning.
Okay.
Wait, I thought she.
I need to heal a little bit.
He just attacked her.
Oh, I thought like.
I'm
armor
sorry,
class
what did you
18.
say again?
Yeah, he hit.
3
Oh,
slashing?
Equal hits. Meets it, beats it.
Mon
Yeah.
bear, mon bear.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're showing.
Clown kill.
What? Oh, Jesus.
Self-destruct. She doesn't know what the spell does. She casts it. Clown kill. We'll self-destruct the island. All right. So at the end of that, it's going to be his lair action, and he's going to use this on you since you really pissed him off. He's going to again cloud bend to try and hit you with the knock you forward into the debris. He's going to try and knock you. Actually, like he's going to aim to hit you right there.
It doesn't. He doesn't need to back up.
Yes, he does.
Oh wait, you make a
area
save.
damage?
You make
Oh,
a
I make
save.
save,
My bad.
okay.
Yeah,
What are
dex
you
save.
looking at? Call of Light.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Well, it
Remember,
says.
he was just like.
that is.
I know, but so
It does do 1d10
So-
damage. in a
so
thunderstorm.
for the for my
5
special,
plus
can I change
7,
that into regular
12.
damage?
All right,
No,
that failed.
So I would use it. I would use.
So this time, as you kind
Shadow
of
does thunder
are
damage,
mostly
but
using
you
most of your
max
vision,
out.
not really able to see him for a moment as you're kind of ducking behind, hiding. As you're ready, you see that he's readying an attack. You feel the ground kind of tremble beneath you
just said I
again
can't change
before you can move.
What do you mean?
You get kind of launched
I asked you if
30
I could
feet,
change
I would
what
say,
it
is
does.
about right there.
You just said no.
to be engaged with him. And for
But you know
this,
Infinity,
you
it's
take
special.
It's thunder or lightning damage that I can act out.
You can
It
choose.
says you can choose.
13
Yes,
bludgeoning
thunder or
damage
lightning.
as you are hurled up
You
into
can
the
use
air
a
and then
thunderstorm or lightning stuff to use it.
kind of land right next to him, and you are prone.
So you can choose
Down.
either or.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. but
So you just have to use half your
lightning
movement to
resistance,
stand up.
so
Yes, I know.
All right, so doing that, that's the end of his lair action. Now we are
But it
going
says that you
to
can deal
see
maximum
all the
damage
falling debris
instead
of all the other towers that are all kind of
Yeah, but acting damage
crashing
is
into each
still
other and all kind of
counted as
raining down.
resistance.
Okay,
That's fine.
So I should just
all
roll
right.
with thunder
So
instead.
now
You
this
should use
part,
thunder spell, which is-
all the debris kind of crashes down, hits in his tower. So now
Use a
these
thunder or
two
lightning spell.
parts of the map are
So
essentially
call
difficult
lightning.
terrain.
No, that's a lightning spell.
You just said use thunder or lightning.
All right,
But he resists lightning. so he's gonna
and we can
resist
kind of
that.
even illustrate some of that
Okay, well none of the other ones do that.
with some like
Sure.
additional
3d8.
Ooh, there you go.
clouds.
48.
I like that.
That's more than.
Not over there.
That is not-
That's not
3d10.
difficult terrain
Yeah.
yet.
And
48 is more than
ruins.
3d10.
Okay. See, but it doesn't give me.
So that's
Doesn't
all.
call
It
lightning
becomes
give me an
difficult
extra
terrain.
1d10
All right.
because I'm in a lightning.
So now back at the top of the order, we have Mother's Skull. What are we doing?
I take damage with the lightning, right?
Yes, you do.
Uh-oh.
All right, and you have to roll to take damage. You just entered his space.
Okay. What do I have to do?
You roll and make a con save.
I'm gonna have to use the one time.
If it's gonna put you down, then you should use it. I agree
16.
with that.
Okay, that exactly passed.
Okay.
So you don't take. You're going to take half damage,
Okay.
I didn't roll.
which
good.
is 1. So that's 1. And now you're immune to it now. All right.
And he is an inorganic.
You roll.
Gotta get a 16.
I'm using their reroll.
With the 2.
All right.
Oh my
Using her
God.
1 reroll.
I'm gonna fucking.
3. Wow.
You need to
Okay.
put them in dice check.
Well, hold up. That's a 1.
All right. You take 6
And then
lightning.
this is a non-magical object.
I'm down.
It's just like.
All right, as you
So not
begin,
like
after she
weapons.
comes and lands next to you, and you see her kind of about to warn her about the electric damage, suddenly you just get shocked and you get down.
Uh-oh.
All right, so
This pass
Make a
is
death save.
perfect on me.
Is it his turn?
yeah, it's the end of his turn.
I swear to God. This is a 1. Big.
Passed.
I don't know if that matters.
I don't know if that's a saving throw.
20.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right, you got 1 death save. All right, now it is Rose's turn. However, at the end of your turn,
Again already?
he is now going to make an
What
attack.
the hell happened?
That's all the difficult terrain. So he's going to take a legendary action first and make an attack. So he's going to attack against you.
Okay, I'm gonna die.
Can you not go around and shove that healing potion down my throat?
I'm also about to die, so.
Right
Well,
next
I
to
have
So
one in my
that's a
inventory.
16 to hit.
Wait.
Misses.
When I get up,
That's-
I can
All right,
try
cool.
to...
So your turn. So make a con save.
Okay, hit me.
Oh, no.
All right. I mean, it's lightning, so that's a 7. So
Is this her
So
turn or is
4?
this the end of?
Yeah.
this is her turn.
Okay.
So 4
Yes.
damage.
Oh,
Okay.
boy. Got to be taking that healing potion.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna use my action to take my
It's a bonus action to do a healing.
do
Yeah.
healing. How much does greater do?
244. You should just read the item.
Oh.
Click on it.
You regain 44 plus 4 hit points.
Yeah, 44 is what you get.
44 total.
Yeah. 4d4. You absolutely hate rolling.
Well, I don't like rolling the little ones. So that's 10 plus what was it? 10 plus 4, so 14 regained.
Yeah, we gotta clear him out, bro, so I can do real big damage.
Okay.
I'd run away.
I'm going to attempt to use, what's difficult terrain? These two parts, or all of it's difficult terrain now?
These two like quadrants are.
Okay.
So not this part, not this part.
Okay.
You guys are.
Okay, gotcha.
Is that like his lair? Is it fucked up or?
This tower is like pretty much fucking destroyed. There's like it is a little bit higher like in the story, but yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to use Shatter,
What's the range on that?
60 feet.
And
I mean,
like,
are you guys
is it-
knocked down?
Yeah.
I'm down. She's just
She's prone.
prone.
Yeah. Was it 60 feet just around
Maybe I
you,
shouldn't
or
use that
can
then.
You could go around just like.
It's a 10 foot radius sphere. You centered on the point,
each creature in a 10-foot sphere?
and they must make a Constitution saving
I mean, if
throw.
you circle around him on your turn to be right next to Taylor, you would be able to hit him with a 10-foot circle and not hit anybody else.
What do you mean, like go?
If you go right next to Taylor and then circle it like over here, then it would hit him without hitting anybody else in 10 feet.
Okay, I guess I'll move over towards Taylor.
All right. You're gonna have him on the very edge. we're doing technical things.
Absolutely, and that's good for my firewall.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
It's a 15 to hit. Okay, well,
For what?
to hit him.
It's a shot. No, shot is a saving throw.
What?
He makes a Constitution saving
Oh.
throw.
All right, you're doing shatter.
Uh-huh.
That is a 14.
That it's a 14 to. So I hit you.
No, you passed.
Oh, well.
Is he made out of inorganic material? As a god.
As a cloud.
It's not really
It's a cloud
material.
god.
You're just a god.
Okay.
I made a cloud.
Oh, he takes half damage though.
Okay.
Yeah, roll damage.
And I'm gonna change. I can change it.
You can max it out if you want, but it'll still get halved.
Yeah.
He
So I'm
has.
gonna change it with my special
Okay.
to do max damage.
So it'll do 16 half, so it would do 8.
All right. That's actually big.
It'll
Or
do
wait,
what?
is it 8? Wait,
It's
is it-
4d8.
Oh, it's D. Oh, you cast at 3rd level.
Yes, I cast it
Okay,
at 3rd
so
level.
he's gonna do
Hello.
There she is.
32 half.
Oh, no, don't go near me.
Came to ruin everything. Come on, Aurora, get down.
Come here.
8, yeah, so it would be 32 half, so it would be 8. Yeah,
just gonna
16.
grab her. Come on.
It's so bad.
Thank you, honey.
All right.
everybody.
And then you still have your spiritual weapon as your bonus action to attack him.
But you literally just said I can't use a magical spell on top of that.
Yeah,
Guest
You
star.
already cast it. It's already out right now, so you can just use it
I'll
to
be
attack.
shocked if he actually
Okay.
comes up.
Wait, you need to explain
Is
it.
he underneath?
I don't see him.
I see the curtains moving.
Definitely DM. You got that,
They're both
Eric?
down
We are
there.
so professional. What?
What was the damage?
You have to roll to hit.
What do you mean?
Roll to hit.
No,
with your
the first
spiritual
one.
weapon.
What was the first damage? I don't think he heard.
16.
16
Yeah.
damage. Okay.
I didn't get that.
No.
That's good.
Sorry, guys.
Was that on top of the 8?
No, it was wrong because you cast
It was
a high
16.
level.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, got it.
so it's 16.
And then I'm going to try to cast my spiritual weapon.
Cool. It's already out. You just make an attack roll.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
it's
then
already
add your
out.
spell attack. Yeah.
Okay.
You cast it at last turn.
I'm gonna cast it at 3rd level.
Cool.
Well,
Okay.
Whose turn are we on? I'm sorry.
mine.
Rose.
Rose. Nice.
And I'm just rolling for hit because it's already out.
Yes, you have to roll to hit him.
So it's 20 to hit.
That hits.
And so it does like 2d10 or something.
9 damage.
Nice.
All right.
Wait, hold on. 'Cause It doesn't
So
automatically
you need to read
do
your
it to
characters
you.
beforehand.
Okay.
So it does.
The damage increases, so I do one more 1d8.
It would be 2d, yeah, plus 3.
So
Pumping.
it's a 7 on top of that, and then a 3.
Okay, so instead of the 9, it's 19.
you get the first one that I said, and then because it's at 3rd level, I get another 1d8, so that's 7, and then I get plus 3 from the first
so
one.
that's 19 total. Okay, got it. All right. So with all that, as he gets kind of pummeled by all this magical effect, you kind of see that he gets drastically frustrated with what had happened. You can see that even though he is godlike in his manifestation in this form that he has up in the god sky, though he doesn't bleed, the kind of god equivalent of this like kind of silver ichor that just kind of comes out of from his shoulder, from his mouth. You can see it kind of sputtering from his mouth as he's kind of growling. Even from his like arachnid eyes, they're kind of almost glazed over with a rage, and he just kind of enough, and he kind of slams the spear onto the ground. And as that happens, he just kind of does a small little shockwave that kind of doesn't do damage, but shoves you guys apart a little bit. And then he marches over to where his tower is, just to the edge. And then grabs onto the side of it. We are so close! And as he's kind of pulling, you can see his muscles kind of flare on in like very inhuman fashion. You can see this giant kind of crack form in his tower. And what's left of the ruins of his tower, he's gonna pulls down, and his tower begins to fall in this direction. As that happens, everybody can roll a d20, times that by 5, and that's how much you can move before the tower collapses.
Question, would I be receiving disadvantage because I'm prone still?
Yeah, you gotta get up.
That's half your movement.
So it's gonna be half, yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to.
So am I crawling?
You're unconscious. So you get 0.
And
so I'm confused then. So what do I do?
So roll a d20 and times it by 5.
but then just have to have that.
Okay, that's 55.
8
Okay,
times 5.
so half of that.
Oh, that's not good.
How? And it's falling across what, the entire island?
It's falling this way, and
Okay.
this is difficult terrain.
Okay.
So it's falling on the entire part that's not difficult terrain.
Would it hit me or no?
Since you're flying, you can literally
Just go up a little bit or just.
you can literally just do that.
Let me see. Let me see my movement first. So I got a 12 times 5, so that's 60 feet.
Okay.
So yeah, can I just fly over to little cat boy?
You can pick him up and then get another 30 feet away.
Yeah,
I am a
I'll
little
do
cat.
that.
All right, you scoop up your comrade.
Bonus action.
You just quick pull him down as you see this crumbling tower that's kind of falling to pieces as even additional debris from the god sky is all crashing into it, and it's just kind of tumbling toward you. You guys all kind of move, Ashley also kind of moving and flying to the side. You can see that Floki kind of runs to where you guys are. It is okay, I will hit him. Come on, grab my hand. And he helps you up,
I grab it.
giving you another 10 feet of movement speed.
So I have like 35.
As he helps you up and then pushes you. So you can so with 25, so he gets you up and here.
Okay.
So this would be 5, 10, 15, 20, because it's difficult terrain, and I would say you just get out of it.
Cool.
What did you?
So, Rose, what
I
did you
have
get?
40 movement speed.
Okay. So you can go 5, 10, 15, and then, yeah, you could have in difficult terrain 20, 25, 30, 35. You had 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can get out of it. So as that all crashes, you can see that Floki underneath the debris, after he pushes you, as she's kind of running away, you guys are all kind of moving at the same time. He sees everyone safe, and he just kind of, did I tell you? And the tower just kind of crashes into where he was.
We'll be back.
And now that whole area is also difficult terrain.
We're like trapped.
And he is just kind of standing at the base of the ruins. So this pretty much is how it would actually look at the point where we're at. As all the rest of the debris is kind of all over the place. Yeah. Difficult terrain.
It's also difficult terrain for him as well.
Yeah. All right. And after he does that, he just... so close. All right, so brings us to... We're at the top of the order, right? Or no, because you had just gone, that brought him to that threshold of hell. So now it is his turn.
Oh.
Because he's after Rose. So now at this point, he's going to get his spear ready. You don't get to save anyone from here, tiefling. He's going to make a spear attack on you. He's going to do 2.
Did you give me the potion or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's not my turn yet.
So that is a 14 to hit. That's going to miss, right?
Let's do both.
And another 14 to hit.
I'm going to use my reaction to shield, and then they will miss.
Okay. All right. First spear disappears back into his hand and misses back into his hand. Frustrating. Who's easier to kill? All right, so that is. Then he's gonna 5, 10,
What a pussy.
20, 25. He's gonna take partial cover behind some of the debris, just giving him another 2 to his AC. All right, and so that is back to Jedi's turn,
Jedi.
Jedi. And then you're in.
Can we like see him from the ground? He's not
Wait,
tall.
you guys?
Just anybody.
From the ground, it's kind of difficult to see him. That's why he just has like partial cover,
Okay.
just from all the debris and everything. But yeah, you can see him.
Alright, I'm gonna use my longbow.
Okay.
Pew pew.
Yeah, that's a natural 1.
Oh.
Ooh.
So that doesn't
Okay. Yeah. So I'm doing so. He just kind of clinks off some of the debris and goes
He's
off.
looking really hurt.
He's looking pretty hurt.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my second attack.
More than halfway.
That's cocked.
I don't like the sound of that.
There we go. That's a natural 19 plus 8.
All right. That hits.
And that's 1d8 plus 5. So it's 7. But I'm gonna do the Colossus Slayer again. Because I get it
Okay.
once per turn. So it's gonna be 2 plus 5. So that's 7 damage. Plus an additional 2. Yo, honey. It's 9 damage total.
He's running.
Oh my god.
Jesus. All right.
That's 9 damage total.
Okay.
And I'm going to I'm just gonna like go right behind Rose a little bit.
All right.
There you go. Right next to Ashley. Cool.
All right. Cool. All right. So Yurin's turn.
With a bonus action, I feed my little cat boy his healing potion.
You're back up, my friend. Go ahead and roll.
So superior, I think it's 6d4. Superior, it's 8d4 plus 8. So roll them d4s. Here's mine too.
1, 2, 3, 5. That's 2. So 5. 5 plus 5, 10. Plus 5.
15.
Plus 5.
20.
All right.
Plus 8, because the base is 8. So 28. That's actually fat. I thought.
As my action, I'm gonna reach into your pocket and take the other one.
It's not your turn.
All right.
I'm gonna do a 3rd level scorching ray on him.
Okay.
You can't run from me, spider. The first one is gonna be 15.
15.
Yeah.
Misses.
Ooh.
Because he thinks it's
11.
He's
Natural 20.
Okay.
The first two. Okay. So that's gonna be 22. So the first 2 miss. The second 2 hit, but I got another natural. So it's gonna be 12.
Being a spectator, it's fine.
2 more. You can only do it once.
That's unlucky.
Yes. So 22.
22 total.
Yep.
All right. And then all these scorching rays come out. He's trying to block it with the spear. You can see most of them still kind of going through, boiling some of the skin. You can see it's almost kind of melted onto his spear, kind of like painfully pulling it off as he's kind of adjusting his grip on his spear. He's looking pretty hurt. All right. So that brings us to the lair action. He's going to do cloud bending on Rose.
Use your movement to put me down.
So it's a con save.
Yeah, I'll use
Or
my
not, deck save.
I'll use my movement to get like 10 feet from the ground and then kind of plop him.
Alright.
I'm already
15.
15 feet, so I just kind of go down a little bit, put him down, and then go back to where I was.
Okay. Where'd you roll?
15.
Alright, that failed. So,
It's a shame I didn't use my divination. Your antics.
Sorry.
We got a lot of fucking potions
We
and shit
did get
from
all
him, so it's
that.
kind of worth.
so you're going to take 18 bludgeoning, but that is minus 10 because you were within her range when it started.
That's big.
Okay.
What's your health looking like?
15.
That's not bad.
All right. And as he does so, as you get launched across, he just kind of, and he just kind of grabs you by the throat as he's kind of holding you. You can see
Darth Vader?
Oh my god.
he coughs a little bit as he's kind of holding you. That would, for theatrical reasons and to make it make sense, that would be his action, as like his attack, as far as grabbing you by the throat and holding you and grappling you, just by the throat. As you were kind of falling, he kind of grasped you that way, and that's going to be his turn as far as holding you. But he, as he's holding you there, he kind of looks at you. You can see kind of like the silver blood kind of coughing out of his mouth. You pissed me off most of all. And now actually make a con save because you're still in his radius with the lightning damage.
Dad?
It says 4 lightning damage, half the 2. He can see that it's kind of hardly hurting you, and it's kind of frustrating him as he squeezes your throat just a little tighter. Friend of lightning, are we? Still kill you on the same. So that's the end of the lair action. And that would be his action following your turn as well, combined with the lair action. So now back to Mother's Skull. What are we doing? He's looking very hurt.
Go get him.
So
How far is he?
he's still holding me, or
Yeah.
no?
He's
Okay.
probably like...
Instead of his attack action for the legendary action, that was his grapple on you. Was doing
How
this.
long does it last?
60
Just the whole
feet.
time?
You can try and escape from it using a strength
That's
check.
difficult terrain, so your thing is half.
So, he's like 60 feet away.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, so your speed is half.
If I double, I can get to him.
If you double, it would cost 120, and you have no more key points, so...
Well,
you'd
I
have
can
to-
use my racial.
Well, you were...
And actually, before you take your turn,
Well, you have to
Still.
spend it. Yeah, you have to spend a turn while you're up, not moving, purposefully.
before
to
you
not-
take your
to get
turn,
back.
the debris that's falling from above.
Yeah, how much?
In this area.
Well, can I
Oh my
re-
god.
Alright, our reaction. Deflect missiles attack. Or deflect missiles.
Like missiles? What's the description on that?
When you get hit by a ranged weapon attack, you can reduce the damage you take.
Alright, yeah, this is terrain
Yeah.
falling on.
Oh, okay.
Alright,
And it's all.
I guess because
so everybody try and make a dex save with disadvantage if you're in the difficult terrain. So Dean is the only one flying above it, so he wouldn't have the difficult.
Where am I at?
13.
Oh, you're being you know what? It's outside
You're still
of you.
blessed.
Oh, he
Other way.
pulled me towards
Yeah,
him.
you got blown over toward him.
Oh,
He did the
okay.
earthbending thing where he knocked you up and then he
It's
caught you
not
in the air.
Dex.
you
Your
said
dex is
dex
probably
with
pretty high.
disadvantage.
Yes, because you're in difficult terrain.
So first roll was a natural 16 plus 7. Second roll is a
So yeah, you wouldn't be able to
Total
get to
is 18.
him
Okay,
unless.
so you pass, so you're only going to take half.
okay.
And
So
then,
that
Even
is,
what's the point? I'll just go over there.
so that is 14 halved is 7 bludgeoning.
Because I don't have any range.
As a whole bunch of debris from all the different colliding towers is all kind of raining down on you guys. You're kind of dodging a little bit. It's difficult with all you're trying to avoid falling or twisting your ankle over the existing debris and dodging what's kind of falling down. As it's just random
No.
things from the size of just like golf balls to like cars that are all just kind of crashing all throughout the sky. So you're able to definitely dodge some of it. You take just that much bludgeoning. You're outside of it.
What's the what was the DC?
What did you roll?
13.
That failed.
Okay.
27.
What is? Okay, the guy who was dead 5 seconds ago. All right. So that is going to be 21 bludgeoning, and you're knocked prone. You're knocked out of the air.
Alright. Oh, but I can reduce that by 10, right?
Yes.
Cool. I'll do that.
All right, so you don't take any because it got reduced by 10 because you're in her radius too.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You don't take any damage from that because you were in her radius.
Oh, okay.
So that would have been 7. So give
Heal
yourself 7
7.
hit points.
Okay.
All right. So that now it's your turn.
All right, I'll.
You can help somebody if you want.
Does that take the whole action?
Yeah, if you it depends on if you have plans.
I forgot to. You take half because you passed. So that was-
-10.
Also,
Yeah, it's not even. Didn't. It was 7.
All right, so I was just gonna use my dash
so that gives you 100 feet.
action and just head kind of over towards like the where he used to be.
Actually, you have the mobile feat, so if you dash, you ignore difficult terrain. So you would be able to get up to him, but you wouldn't be able to
okay.
attack him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're using your action to
Oh yeah, because I don't have
'cause
my.
you have key points.
That's not the racial ability. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I'll just go over to where he used to be, and then on my way.
Or if you spend this turn not moving, you can get your racial ability back.
All right, I'll stay over here, and then I'll help. I'll use the help action on Dean.
All right.
Don't do it on me.
Oh, I'll use
Give
the
it to
help
Taylor.
action on Taylor.
She
Okay.
has advantage on her next attack.
All right. you're
I'll
helping
use
her.
the help action on Jenny.
Okay. You're gonna go over and you're kind of pointing out, helping her where to aim and everything, helping her get the arrow out quicker to save time so she can aim a little better. All right. So that's the end of your turn. Then it is Rose's turn.
Get him, Rosie.
What do I have to
fucking
roll
die.
to get out of the grapple?
To escape the grapple, let me double check.
Athletics
0.
contest, I think.
Fantastic. All the way by Thunderwave. Okay, so yeah, the screen doesn't say. I think you're gonna make a strength contest.
Your strength is not bad, so you have a chance to get out. I'm pretty sure it's an athletics contest.
Where's strength?
So
at?
he only got a total of a 13.
I got 13.
So you
So-
don't break out, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
But you can still you can attack him with disadvantage while you're grappled.
Mhm.
So you can still try to hit him, even though it might not hit.
Hit him. I can't do spell though. Just hit him.
Spells are also disadvantaged in melee range, but you could also try to use a spell.
Very vocal.
You probably hit yourself with the. You have your spiritual. We didn't put it on the map, but I don't think it's within 30 feet. It was back like in his original
where it
position. So you could try to move that as your bonus
What is
action. Your spiritual weapon.
It just sits there.
On each one of your turns, you can move it and attack somebody as the bonus action.
Oh, so it's like Shane. It just sits there, just like floating.
Oh, the campaign.
Oh, in the campaign. Yeah, but you can move it on your bonus actions and have it attack. But I don't
Ah.
think it's within 30 feet. But you can move it closer with your bonus action.
Mhm.
How much closer can I move it?
30 feet.
Oh,
It's just probably like in front of that cloud.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'll just move it closer, and then I guess I'll try to stab him.
Okay.
Roll 2, take the lower. Add 6.
17 plus 6. And 9 plus 6.
That's not bad. 15. Oh, I feel like that misses, doesn't it? 'Cause I think I
To
just
hit his
rolled
AC,
Doesn't his AC go up?
You just roll.
15. I hit him 15 earlier, that's why I was scared and I missed.
Well, I know you said his AC went up by 2, but I didn't know when that
that was just because of the cover he was in. You hit him.
Yeah, he's not in cover for you.
You hit him.
Oh, I did? Okay.
15 hits?
Okay, cool.
His AC went down?
Since he hit that threshold,
Okay.
it looks like he's a little easier to hit, but his
11.
damage might go
That was last turn that I did that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
My bad.
It's 11 damage.
All right.
Slashing damage.
It's distracted by the cats.
So if I hit him, do I get out of the grapple or no?
My brother.
No.
What?
My brother.
What happened?
With the cats.
Okay. So he's going to take his turn, and he's going to attack you. He gets advantage.
You good?
So there's a 19 hit.
Yep.
All right, so there's the first attack, and that is 14 slashing,
Okay,
and then
down.
5 lightning.
You're
I'm
down.
down.
You're down.
Yeah,
Okey
I have
dokey.
13 hit points, so I'm down.
All right, so then he's going to attack you again. It's an auto crit,
That's
and
good.
that's 2 auto fails.
You might die, bro.
So as you're incapacitated, he just takes his blade and hits you with the flat of it into the face, and then slices you with the back of the blade again across the neck, slicing it enough to where you'll bleed, but not enough to fully pierce the jugular, and then rolls it up, and he's about ready to drive it into your heart. But it is now Jenny's turn. Don't know where she went.
I think Jenny is talking to her mama.
Oh. All right.
I can take it. If
Yeah,
you want.
you can take the turn.
Alright, I'll do it. I'm gonna probably shoot him with a bow. I'm assuming that's what she has.
Yep. Yeah, she's a long bow.
Longbow.
Let me refresh the page. I had it pulled up earlier doing her bow stuff. Go. How far is everybody away? Like, how far is the boss man?
Should say like 60 feet.
60 feet.
And he's going to get +3 to his AC. Or +5, because he has 3/4 cover.
Yeah.
Between holding Aaliyah and then the ruins.
60 feet. Okay. I guess, yeah, I'll try to attack him with the bow.
Alright.
Does she have sharpshooter or anything? Let's see. No. Okay. So I'll make 2 attacks. 2 natural 20s.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay.
Right in his eyeball sockets.
So that's easy. $24.
Okay.
Yeah. Roll bow on the dice, the d8s. Yeah.
Alright. So that just missing past through all the debris and everything, even whizzing past Rose's head, you can feel the wind of the arrows kind of pass and kind of stick into his head, and he's
Oh my god.
Alright, so if that's the end of her turn, he's now going to take one more action.
Oh.
He's gonna kill you.
We should have
Ram
just
into your
re-rolled
gut.
my dice.
We already used Jane's.
You used her power to re-roll your dice?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
to
did.
not die.
So to not
and still-
die.
And fuck it.
Yikes.
Alright,
You're dead.
so you were killed.
She can revivify
As he
you.
stabs
She's
you,
not-
there's your body to the ground. So that is going to be end of his legendary action, so now it is Yurn's turn.
You're gonna regret that, Spider. Fireball. I grasp the fire within my heart, coalesce it up to my finger, and fucking shoot him with a fireball. Just a
Alright.
laser just fucking points into his chest. You see just like a beam of fire go onto him, and then it just explodes out from him. I guess they
Alright.
did dexterity saving throw.
That is an 8.
Fails.
Here you go.
And I can re-roll ones. Okay. 32.
Alright.
That was a big alright.
So, as everything that he just said happened, this is kind of flaring over the corpse of Rose as she lays there. You can see that his essence, all the silver matter that was kind of bleeding out from him after the explosion, you can see that his flesh just kind of opens up, and all that silver matter just kind of flutters out, almost like this kind of like oil dipped in the water. How it's kind of like globular and kind of trying to find its form, and it just kind of swirls up into the air as all the debris of all the other broken towers are all just still kind of raining down all around. You can see that this kind of silver form that was inside of this body that he had slowly kind of slurps kind of through the air and then kind of begins to coalesce and form back into a similar kind of all silver, and eventually kind of turns into a flesh-like form of that original little humble, unremarkable gnome that Ashley had first met when she had been died, and then he gave her another chance at life. As he kind of stands looking over the edge of the tower in the God Sky, he's looking down at the world below, and it is tumultuous. There's a cataclysm that is raging in the world beneath you, and the war of the gods that's happening overhead. And as he looks down there, and Ashley slowly kind of stepping between you, realizing that what's done has been done, and she steps forward and walks up to him, he mutters, "Cast me down." He turns and he looks at her. God of the ungrateful, it was in my nature to be hated and alone, and I wish for nothing more than to cast it away. I had no idea that my new stunt would have produced a new goddess in the mix. And I know not what consequences your existence yields for this world, but I do believe that it shall be magnificent. I do believe that you are quite possibly the most important god in the god sky. The goddess of purpose. Whatever god of the ungrateful takes my name place. Upon the ashes of my tower, reformed from the worship of the ungrateful down below, they will not know despair as I did. For though they too shall be the god of the ungrateful, they shall know purpose. Every god shall know you. Every mortal shall know you. Every object, emotion, and idea shall know you. For you connect all things. Before you, even the god sky was a place with no purpose. Oh, how I wish to see the effects that this new invention shall yield upon this realm. Ashley takes a moment to understand all that he had just said. And there's a silence as long as the fall down to the realm below. Cast me down, he repeats, so that I may be free of this unending game and walk among the living below. For I fear I was the only one who saw these towers for what they are, prisons. There's another long silence. Ashley mumbles as tears kind of streak her cheeks. This is going to hurt. For we are quite high. That we are, goddess. I shall cushion your fall, though I promise your legs will still shatter. For you do not deserve to walk among anyone. I do this not for you, but for the world waiting below us. For it has grown fragile during our turmoil we have so foolishly caused. And may I spend the rest of my unending days upon the world below serving in your name as penance for this curse of godhood I have so selfishly thrust upon you. I truly hope you become the goddess you always wanted to be, but I'd much rather be one of the living. For no matter how much misfortune may befall me, life is always the better choice. He closes his eyes. Now, I believe you have one task ahead of you, goddess. He leans back with his arms outstretched. She kneels down and puts her hand against his chest and prepares to push. What is thy name? He whispers. May I be the first to hear it. I shall spread it across the land until your tower is a mountain, eclipsing all the rest. She gives him a partially puzzled look for just a moment before she settles, realizing that no goddess should be named Ashley. Ariora, she says. Idris smirks as he analyzes the combination of root words that are within the name from the first language, which is like a universal language from the ancient past. Watchful spirit and sky, he says. He chews upon the name for a moment before declaring, Ariora, the architect of purpose. Arms still spread, he tilts his head back. Your first worshipper awaits his prayer to be answered. Ariora, the architect of purpose. shoves Idris from the tower. True to her word, she cushioned his fall, and true to her word, still his legs were shattered. Your fall, however, is much smoother. As your tower turns to mist beneath your feet, slowly coalescing to a giant hand that slowly lowers you to the world below, your view is breathtaking in both the sense that the perspective of the world from thousands of feet up is vast and transcendent, as well as the incredible altitude literally taking the breath from your lungs. The world begins as bland and a blur of vague detail, but as you descend, the details of the planet-sized corpse comes into focus. It's unclear just how far you have traveled across the god sky, but there's no evidence of the tower, nor the civilization that you had built in building it. As you drift closer, you see that scattered about a world of sundered elements are remains you are unable to place. Leftovers from cities, monuments, and landmarks appear toppled. Toys scattered about a child's playroom amidst a crumbling home, along with craters, jagged shards of sundered earth, and warped forests of both leafless trees and blooming forests of wildly unchecked growth. Shorelines and rivers flood and bleed across the land in gashes and streaks resembling no maps nor memory that you've ever recalled. Just how much time had passed upon the world of Dor Wei during your time in the god sky is unknown, but the age that had passed during your absence yielded such trauma that neither history nor the world itself could bear to remember it. A new age begins as you touch down upon a world torn asunder, and so begins one of the oldest ages in history, known as the Grand Jerk, which translates from first language to the Great Search. It refers to both your group, physically searching the seemingly empty world for survivors after this cataclysm. Looks like you're going to yawn again.
Yeah.
As well as everyone's search for the brand new idea of purpose that had not yet existed until it was given birth through this whole event. After first grieving for your pasts that you had left behind and the pain that this world and all who were in it had whatever they had endured in your absence, you ultimately see past it. You see the great search that awaits you in the broken world. You see questions of just what had occurred and how much time had passed. Had the humanoids of the world clashed and caused this cataclysm? Had godly intervention brought unwelcome beings of great destruction? Had Mother Nature kind of risen up and kind of torn the world asunder? How had it unfolded? So many questions within the question of what happened. One could say the same for its sister question, what is yet to happen? The age of the Grand Jerk begins, and with all questions that those among you and those yet to come may ask, there's one no one had ever asked until mortals built a tower of their own to dare join a game of gods. The brand new question that unlocked infinite paths carved across a limitless future. Never asked of anything, but from that day forward asked of everything. What is my purpose? And so begins a new age among the world of Dor Wei. What had happened during this entire period is unknown, can only be speculated. But a great search for survivors of this great cataclysm is underway. A new founding of the world is underway. And everyone searches for this new idea of purpose. And that is it.
GG.
Big.
All right.
Huge.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. And we'll see you guys next month and our next episode, which is going to take us to the dark, mysterious continent of Fallujah, where we will go to uncover a murder in our episode that will be called Reinventing the Murder. So I hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.